Hello, everyone. Wow, StreamYard is wonky tonight. Dang. Oh, my goodness. Well, hello, my friends. Welcome to Monday Night Mark C. Comics Talk, named after my dear departed, wonderful buddy, Mark C., who I know would love this topic tonight. Or he might say, what are you doing this topic for, you dumbass? I could hear him saying that, too, but we miss him big time. And that's why this show will eternally be named after him. We did so many great comics shows together, had so many planned. And so, big shout out to the great Mark C, everyone, and the great chat who has gathered here already well, I don't know. StreamYard says no one's there, so I hope someone's there. I'm just going to pretend like they are, because I see people in the chat, and yet it's telling me there's no one there. This thing is wonky. The internet, of course, is under assault today, as you all know. Yep. I think Facebook's finally back up. I do believe it is. Well, hey there, Mr. J Man. I am so honored to once again be joined by my pal J Man, a geek extraordinaire, I should say.
Oh my gosh!
I can't tell why, because his background there is nothing. It's not a tell, of course. What's up, man?
It's great to be on here, especially for this topic. I love team up books. And just to talk about geek stuff in general is great. So it's always great to be on. I know we always have a lot of fun. And I mean, we could just talk. We could have started this like hours ago and just, keep talking and talking. And it's like,
that's all I do, man.
When is this going to end?
Yes, sir. That's all I do is talk geekness. Well, I hope you were all there. But StreamYard could be lying to me. Yeah.
I'm seeing chats come in.
Yeah, chats are coming in. The StreamYard says, well, never mind. The great Lord Thothus here. Avon lives, brother. And, of course, long live the Legion. Snortapoopus. I can't say it like Raquel, but I still say it. Snorty, you're a good bear. D-Bud popped in earlier. D-Bud, and he'll show up later. I think he'll pop in later. Great to see you, buddy. I understand. We're starting at a special early hour because we have a special guest, and that's where Dayman is a special guest. I started 1 a.m. for you, brother.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
The great Keely
What
Chow
time is it
rolled.
for you?
It is after 6 o'clock. I'm only an hour behind you.
Oh, you're an hour behind.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Keely Chow, roll tide there. I believe your tide keep rolling. I'm only for you do I say that. I don't really mean it because I'm an LSU fan and they're garbage right now. Let's see. Good to see you, Keely. Let's see here. Bzzz. Oh, the wonderful Purple Valkyrie. Purple, I love you. Thank you for popping in. It's so great to see you. She's just amazing. And a wonderful friend. And I miss hanging out with you, Purple, when you come back on to hang with me. Say yes. Say anytime. That's the right answer because I miss you. Well, see, she's crossed the pond, and she's always so wonderful to, and kind to hang out with me when it's like all hours of the morning for her, when I'm on at night and stuff. So, the great Chris Persia, another fabulous Canadian. I have something, J-Man, because you, of course, are amongst the fabulous Canadians that I have met. Yeah. Since I moved to YouTube a little over a year ago, after 11 years on Blog Talk Radio. And I've never been up there, but I'm sure I've met people from there from time to time. But here on YouTube, if you can call it virtually meeting people via the net, and I do, I've met so many. And you guys are the best. I'd have moved up there if I'd known you were so many awesome people up there.
Awesome, we're super geeks. Cool. We're super relaxed, and there's comic shows all the time. It's like every 2 weeks there's one or something.
Well, it's great. Again, I will be up there. I'll get up there one of these days because, as you know, my wonderful first officer, the beautiful Raquel Briggs, is from up there. So many other friends, many in the chat, including the great Chris Persia. Good to see you, Chris. Mr. Buttcrack Media, hello there. That name, I like saying that name.
All right.
But that's just the way I am, the way I roll there. Let's see. I'm trying to scroll down, everyone. Oh, thank you, Purple. Look, I always. Because I always feel so bad about troubling her and making her stay up so late. I can't. Look, I'd have you on every time you feel like it, Purple, of course. But I always try to think of a good topic. Hey, Stuart Mitchell, good to see you. That I could possibly lure Purple into my Clobberin time trap to hang out with me. And so, Purple, I'll think of a good one. And even not, because she just hung out with me. Last time we got to hang out was on my Jack Kirby birthday show. And that was a lot, and that was just so much fun. And I appreciate you on that one. That was in the daytime there. So she is the best. And of course, she has a wonderful channel. And I mean, as if she wasn't magnificent enough. Now she does that show, obviously her daytime show, but now she does that show with Arwen that they're doing on Wednesdays. Yeah, what a team up.
That is a good team up. I thought that immediately. So I saw that pop up. I'm like, oh, this is a great idea. So I am actually able to catch a lot of those streams. Sometimes I'm at my day job, so it's hard to get everybody. I miss Stone Loki all the time. He literally starts when I'm like literally on the road at my day job.
Oh,
so
yeah,
sometimes
the great
I
Loki.
miss a lot of these. But I try to catch them when I can.
Man. Absolutely, I hear you. I have to lurk when Loki's on because it's so early. I just barely getting to sleep by then, so I can't even get to the chat most of the time. I'll just listen, because Loki has been one of my great friends that I met over here, and love the Loki, and he is he's extraordinary. He did my intro outro there, and of course, what a segue, that team up segue we just did. Anyone miss that? Anyone catch that? Anyone catch my purple Arwen segue to team ups? No, but I tried. Yeah, dude, this is part 5. Part 5 of the great team ups. I don't know what possessed me. I've always loved these books, Jay, man, and because I don't know, there's something about, look, those of us who are lucky enough to start reading comics as a kid, you can't get enough of superheroes if you're a superhero fan. So, and when your favorite ones, be it whoever it may be, Superman, Batman, The Thing, Spidey, whoever it is, seeing them palling around with other superheroes. I mean, it's great in team books, obviously. Team books. I mean, and when I say team books and team up books are 2 different things. You know, your team books, of course, obviously, in FF Legion and Avengers and JLA and such. Those are great. Seeing them team up with random, each month with a different superhero is just irresistible, for a superhero loving geek such as ourselves.
Yeah, for sure.
And one of the things I talked about week 1 was, of course, World's Finest.
Oh, awesome.
And that
covers.
Those covers, yeah. And you got the 2 greatest of all time teaming up. Yeah. Although the first 12 or so years of the series, they were just on the covers teaming up. They weren't doing anything interior, but then for many years after that, they actually started palling around. They were just anthology stories, but you didn't know that as a kid. You just saw them both on the cover, and boom, or they didn't. And then Brave and the Bold, I just love it. I mean, Batman, before he took over that book, it was, again, an anthology. Yeah. We all know the Justice League got their start in that title and had a great time talking about that one. Then, oh man, Marvel team up was next. Spidey, although Spidey and the Torch kind of shared it a little bit off and on, but it was mostly Spidey with all these guest stars. I mean, I had a great time talking about that one with Mark D with the C and my buddy Flash. Then Mark D with the C and I talked about my favorite character, Ben, the Thing. Well, I never missed this when when it was going around out there. When I just because Ben's my favorite, but I love Superman just as much. He's, to me, I still see Ben is my sentimental favorite character.
Right.
Superman is the greatest comic book character ever created.
I agree.
And I love Batman almost as much as both of them. They're right there, those 3. Yep. And I love many others. Of course, I've shown my top 100 here. I've done a show about it and got in trouble, by the way. But with a lady friend of mine, because I had Wonder Woman too low. She's a Wonder Woman.
Oh, fan. Wonder Woman's my number 3. It's Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman.
I had her at 45.
45.
She was angry with me. I mean, look, out of 100 characters or superheroes, I should say, not characters necessarily, but superheroes in particular. That was what that list was. So the last one,
top 100. Well, you did that's a lot. Mm-hmm. I'd have to really think about that.
It was I thought it was going to be tougher. Then by the time when I got toward the end, I'm like, oh, there's so many other ones I could put on here. Yeah. But I did it there. So, and then of course tonight, everyone, it's funny. He was at the beginning, and now he's at the end. After all those titles had premiered, they decided, look, we got Batman with one of these. Why can't Superman have this? No brainer, right? Superman needs a team-up book. So DC Comics presents What was it again? Was how many issues? I know there were some annuals, like
97,
97,
and then 4 annuals. So it's like
4
101 all together.
Gotcha. And I just this was a comic that, because I love Superman so much, I was in buying the regular Superman titles. I back then when it first came out, I couldn't believe it, man. I was like, whoa, another Superman title. And I've talked about this before, J-Man.
Yeah.
When you have a title, one of these team up titles, this character's already in 3 or 4 other titles at the time back then.
Right.
And he's busy, in other words. Superman, Batman, whatever. Yet they're still teaming up with these other characters. And what I kind of like about it is you don't have a lot of baggage with continuity or anything like that. Not saying continuity is bad if you love the regular title, but you have that. This, you're just going to get a straight up team up running around, and it's going to be all out action for the most part. You don't have time. You don't have plot threads and arcs all that often going through, occasional 2-parter or something. And you even have little backup stories in these sometimes.
Yep.
Basically just pure fun.
I think that's what got me into it. Like Marvel 2-in-1 is actually my favorite, I guess, if I had to pick a favorite. And that's the one that I really went heavy into because I love Ben Grimm. He is one of my, I put him in the top 20 characters for myself. And the idea that he's always going to team up with someone else, like, well, this is great. And I knew about Brave and the Bold and I knew about all these other books. We'll find this. I did not know. So the funny story with DC Comics Presents, because I was we were at a show, my buddy Sean and I, who's on my channel, we were at one of these shows, like literally a month and a half ago or 2 months ago. And he's like, oh, there were, this guy was selling a lot of DC Presents. And he's like, oh, Jay, J-Man, DC Presents. I was like, yeah. He's like, well, Superman's your favorite character. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I was like, is Superman in every issue of that? Or I thought he was just only sometimes, because some of these team up books, they're not always in it, like Brave and the Bold. It's like it wasn't Batman, it became that later. So I thought that's what I didn't even know DC Presents was a Superman thing. I literally thought it was every issue it was 2 characters who randomly teamed up. Like I thought it was totally random.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Like, it could have been Green Lantern and Flash, and then it could have been Hawkman and Wonder Woman. Like I didn't realize it was a Superman thing, and I'm like, are you for real right now? And then I was thinking, am I the dumbest person of all time? I'm like, because I'm buying every Marvel 2-in-1. I literally have my list here. And I'm like, oh, I now have to buy every DC person. Like right there, I made a vow. I was like, I vow to own every issue of DC Comics Presents.
I love it.
I'm like, I beg the comic gods for forgiveness for not knowing about this. And then I blame Sean because really, he should have known that I didn't know and then told me. So I that's just not how that goes. It's like he has to assume some of the blame. I go to the store with him every day. I go to these shops all the time. I'm like, buddy, you never once thought to say, why aren't you buying DC Comics Presents? So I just went like hardcore and I was just half an hour before we started, I'll show this to everybody in the chat if I can lift it up with one arm. Yeah,
no, Lord Thoth, he's a top oneer. He's my number one. Mr. Smart Alecky Lord Thoth, you.
So this
let me get you on the
lot
here, man. Let me get you on the solo there.
Yeah, so this lot.
Look at this guy, folks. Whoa, I love it, man.
Just came in half an hour before this stream started. I just got a text. My concierge is like, you got a package. I'm like, oh shit, it's the DC Presents. I know it. And I ran down there. It's like, yep. So I got it's 58 of them. I had some already at the last show. So I got number 1. I don't have the He-Man. I don't have the Masters of the Universe one, and I don't have the Teen Titans number 26.
Those are expensive. Those are what you call. I hate keys, man. Key collectors ruin everything, and those are keys. But if I can ever spot one for you cheap, dude, I'll grab. I mean, I don't have any of those in my collection anymore, unfortunately. But in fact, you know what? Back then, I think when the He-Man one came out, I was buying more on a select. I was like, if it was an issue with someone I wanted to, I'd buy it. And at the time, I wasn't I'm too old. Well, relatively speaking, for He-Man, I didn't really watch the cartoon much. But I should, again, I saw the He-Man. I'll wait for the next one.
Now, you're right, because you're like, who cares about it?
Yeah, but
you're not thinking back then. That's why I liked collecting. You weren't thinking, do I need to buy this or whatever? Yep.
Look, there's the advantage of being a completist. And I think I told you, I think I was taking, I think when I was, by the way, J-Man's channel is magnificent, folks. There's a link to it below. I'll get the link up there. I was fortunate enough to be a guest on his show last week. I believe it was. And one of the things I was telling you on there is I've developed, when it comes to collecting, dude, you're not alone. I know lots of friends who are completists and will buy, they'll never stop buying even new stuff. You know how I feel about new stuff, but they do it. Well, back around the late 80s, early 90s, I decided I was buying stuff I didn't like out of habit for the most part. So I just decided, you know what? I'm going to do this purging. I'm going to separate the wheat from the chaff. I'm going to put, if it's something a comic I like, I don't care if I have a straight line from number 113 to 144 of this particular series, but I don't like issue 122, I'm getting out of it. I don't care about it. I might just dump or at least a patch of issues that I didn't like or a run. Right. It's gone. I'll just want the ones I want, the ones I like, which by the way is not a good comic collecting thing, but I've never considered myself to be much of a collector except for certain comics. Mostly I'm just a reader and a lover of them. But many of my friends, on the other hand, are hardcore collectors. And so, of course, and I sold a lot of comics to many people like that and used to grade comics and collections and things like that. But so I just did that with my own, quote unquote collection. And at least it saves you from having a lot of stuff stacked up, but not really, because obviously when you're buying them new, you don't know if you're going to love it yet or not in a lot of cases. Right. You might buy something you think is a total piece of crap, and then 10 years later, like, why am I keeping this thing? Ugh. Whereas the collectors, whether they like it or not, they're keeping it.
Yeah, and I think I was up to about 22 long boxes, and I was like, okay, this is crazy. And I just I just did like a super dumpage. I just went to one show, and it was like outrageous pricing. Like, just I don't care. Like, I want it gone. And then little did I know that Harley Quinn would become something. Rogue got. I'm like, wait, what's going on here? Why all the I had the first appearance of tons of people that I just purged because I was like, Harley Quinn, that's a trash character. No one cares about her.
Thanks, Chris.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Your countryman there. Thanks, Chris. I always forget to do that kind of stuff. Chris Persia is the man. He's the greatest wrench, right up there with the great Eric K. But yeah, dude, I just look, believe me, I know how it feels to want to be a completist. These key collectors, like we were talking about, they ruin every damn thing. You just want to have that. See, you want that comic book because you want to have those comics because there's a legitimate love of the series. That 70s Rocks fan, good to see you, brother. Whereas these jackasses just want it because it got hot. I mean, look, if you're a He-Man fan, for example, but you're not really that much of a Superman fan, but you want to have that comic, that's fantastic. I think that's great. You want to go get it. Well, jackass vultures know that's a case in a lot of cases, and that's why these keys go up.
Yeah, and it is disheartening because like you get like He-Man's my favorite thing. J-Man is based on He-Man. That's people call him J-Man. It just happened to coincide with my love of He-Man, so I'm a big time He-Man guy. Mm-hmm. So Superman's my favorite, and He-Man was my favorite cartoon, and that's kind of like my thing. So I was like, I have to get this, and I will get it. There was a guy selling it for a pretty reasonable price, so I might grab it next show he's at. But yeah, I've seen these guys at the shops because I'm one of the guys that goes I'll be going tomorrow. So I go every Tuesday because I get the DC books and the Marvel books I can get the day earlier because the guy just gives them to me. And and you see them there. They're like, okay, I need to get, I remember High Republic Part 1. I don't know why they thought that was going to be something because that was actually not that. I read the first 3 issues of High Republic. It wasn't that good. But that number 1 was a key, and I literally the guy offered it to me. He's like, "Oh, this is going to be a big one. Do you want to take it?" And I said, "Nah, I'll pass." So I literally passed on it with the comic shop owner literally saying, "J-Man, I saved you one, and just in case." I was like, "Yeah, go ahead and sell it." I can't get into that mentality, especially if I don't like it. It's different if I have somewhat of a like of some character. It's like I kind of think, sure, I don't know, this person's cool, so I'll get the first one, but. It's like Star Wars, High Republic. I'm like, nah. I'm like, even if some chance I really like this, which is probably not going to be the case. Even if I do like it, I can live without having it. It's not that important to me, right?
Superman's not in it, so.
No. Yeah. Superman, I'm just a sucker. I didn't buy it. Well, I don't want to get into there's something I didn't buy, but I'm not going to say why. Anyways,
Well, wow. I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud that you resisted one of them.
Yeah, I did resist one of the Supermans. It pissed me off when I heard it was going to happen. I'm like, I'm not buying this garbage, and I was so angry.
Right. I could guess, man. I can guess if it's recent.
Yeah.
Oh, now I know. Well, I don't blame you one bit, and I've heard some reports on that.
Yeah.
So DC Comics presents, for those who do not know, of course, is the Superman team up where just like with Spidey, just Marvel team up, Marvel 2-in-1. And he would team up with a new guest star every week. And like I said, I remember when I saw this on the stand for the first time. Let me go ahead and show this lovely.
Man.
And this was, of course, well, first of all, I was happy because I love Flash. I love Barry Allen Flash as much. I love Superman, and I love Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, one of my all-time favorite DC artists. And he did a lot of these early covers so there's issue number 1. And I can't even remember exactly where I was or where I grabbed it. I just know seeing it on the shelf or on the spinner. I'm like, whoa, Superman and Flash? Yes, that's a yes. Boom.
Yep.
And now I have not read this comic in decades.
Oh, it's wacky. It's so wacky.
Probably.
Oh my God.
I can imagine. Is it really?
Yeah, I can't follow it. I read it. I'm like, I literally don't understand what's happening, but this is the best comic I've ever read in my life.
Now I've got to find out who wrote it.
I'm just like, this is the greatest.
Let me find out who wrote it now, because now I can probably tell you why it's wacky if I can see who wrote it. So let's see here. Because I've not, like I said, I've not read this thing in eons, and I plan to. I don't know if they've done trades.
No, I couldn't find any
of these. But you can find them in various places.
Comixology. I ended up buying what I could from Comixology just so I could get into reading it. I don't care about my source of reading. If I can read it, I'll read it. If I can get the real book, obviously I'll get the real book. But some of them you just can't get it, and you can't get it right away. Like this is like sort of my free time reading on my iPad, right? So I can just quickly hit a button and then I've got the book. So I've read the first 7 or 8 or something. Just started over. I just said let me just start from scratch. And a lot of them are on Comixology if you can't find the real issues. I do have number 1 though. I do have number 1 in physical form.
Oh, that's good. And you got, now that you've been getting these, any idea what your gaps are on these? I mean,
I've got a few weird gaps. Yeah. So I've got out of the 101, I've got, I don't know, 65 or 70 or something like that. So this lot really helped me out. This got me the 50. There's 58 in this lot that I just got. So there's a show coming up in November. I'm going to hit it hard. I'm doing DC Comics Presents and hopefully nothing else, although that's never going to happen. I always have a plan and then it gets derailed pretty fast when I'm like, oh shit, I got to pick up these West Coast Avengers issues I don't have. But
mystery solved, dude.
Oh yeah. Who's the writer?
Oh my God. I've forgotten this. Martin Pascoe, rest his soul, who passed a couple years ago, was one of the nuttiest comic book writers of that year. This is the guy, just to give you an example, he's the guy that came up with the idea when people constantly used to joke about, why does no one recognize Clark just because he's wearing glasses? So he's Superman, Right. And I used to say, people like, it's a funny book, dude. I don't know. Obviously,
right.
He came up with this weird story, and I can't remember the issue number. It wasn't too long before this comic came out, probably. And he came up with this story where he didn't realize it, but his glasses were made from the glass on his rocket ship, and they put forth he was unintentionally putting some sort of hypnotic effect.
Oh,
that was deceiving people. Martin Pascoe, ladies and gentlemen, who, by the way, in an interview in Comics Journal, remember I did that show about all the comics?
That was like one of my favorite streams you ever did. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, man. I really had a lot of fun doing that one. In an interview with that, he was asked about some of the goofy crap he would write because he was one who took he was one of these literature snobs. He was good. I mean, he wrote a lot of television, right? And he thought it was kind of beneath him to work in comics. He liked them as a kid, but he thought comics should be kind of a little. Let's put it to you this way. One of the guys says, what about a more serious comic? Or he said, there's no such animal. To him, he didn't believe that they should ever be taken seriously. And he's no Bob Haney, but he would write some of the craziest stuff, which I remember fondly now,
Right.
But he wanted it to be silly kid stuff. And then, that's kind of, to a degree, I understand. But
Yeah,
Yep.
I like the simplicity sometimes too, and just the fun aspect. I think the team up books for me is what I would refer to as my own thing, which is like just like an open. It's a very open concept thing where you're like, because everything is self-contained, you literally have no clue what the next issue is going to be. So it builds this excitement, I think, for a kid or even adult collector, where you're like, oh man, first of all, I don't know who he's going to team up with next, and I don't know what adventure they're going to go on next.
Right.
Now, issues 1 and 2 do continue, but after that, it's pretty much. There's a few that do kind of continue a little bit, but not really. Like it wasn't really dependent that you read the previous, and I like that.
I do have this one reprinted, by the way.
Oh, they did. Okay, so was that in a trade or?
They did a showcase, which those were those black and white ones, but there was a Superman versus the Flash, and if I remember correctly, I have a trade of the Superman stories of Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, just to tell about his stories. They've done two, not trade, as a hardcover, actually. One of those hardcovers where they would, concentrate on the artist or something. I have one of those, and I think that's in there, but I'm fairly sure, because he didn't do a lot of Superman stories, but I love the ones he did do. I love Garcia Lopez, who he got his whole complicated name, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. So
yeah.
So there you go. That makes sense that it's Pascoe. And so let's see, issue number. Where am I? There we go.
So number 2 is the same. This is a continuation of the same thing.
Continuing up. Yep.
Yeah.
Continuation, same deal. And then number 3, again, another Lopez cover. Awesome. I love Adam Strange.
Yeah, me too.
He's great.
Great, yeah.
Let's see here. Let's see. We got Pascoe still, because it was a 2-parter. Yeah, again, they would do that with DC Comics Presents. I think did more 2-parters than the other team up books did. It was Brave and the Bold. Team Up didn't do it much. Marvel 2-in-1 did it every now and then, but for the most part, stop trying to sell me stuff. DC Comics database. These databases meant for research they can be.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think it's the same people who do both Marvels and DCs. Now, yeah. And again, still more. There's still more Garcia Lopez art. Brightest Day, what's up? Decepticon, how you doing?
Oh, that's Sean. Sean, if you missed earlier, I blamed you for not telling me that DC Presents was a pure Superman team up book. So you've been blamed officially on YouTube.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, before you got it, we were planning on a show that blames all of J-Man's problems in life on you. It's a special stream we're going to be doing.
Oh, I am so doing that. We are doing it.
Good to see you, Sean. And it was cool to see you. I know he popped in the other night, Saturday Night Star Trek. Great to see you there. Claude Parrish is here. Minimus is here. Minimus Prime. I've known him probably the similar length to how you've known your buddy Sean, because I know you guys grew up together. We never grew up, but we've known Claude and I have known each other for almost 40 years.
Oh no, that's way more. Sean and I only know each other for about 20 years.
Well, it's comparable though, because you guys are young and we're old.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, about 20 years, 20, 30 years, you're both gonna be like us, the old men sitting on the porch bitching at each other.
Yeah.
Get the hell off my lawn, you damn kids. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. So yes, this one now, this Adam Strange one. I don't know. Anytime you see one you got this one.
Yeah.
Great. More Garcia Lopez art. I remember this, and Dave Michelini was actually a really good writer. But what got me is he didn't do much DC. He was. This is a guy who wrote some of the best Iron Man run with Bob Layton, and a lot of great Avengers comics as well. And so to see him doing a DC book, it was kind of funny. Those guys, some of them did. That was around the era. Some of them did a lot of freelance stuff. This is 1978, so wow, 78. Dude,
I was 1 year old,
and I bought it off on the rack. Wow, Lynn Wein,
awesome,
I want these early issues, dude. Now I want to steal those early issues from you. You got this one. I'm a Metal Man fan. I don't know what you.
Yeah, I got. Yeah, Metal Man. I've got that one. That one's number 4, so that's coming up. And I've read that one too. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's let's see, writer. Yeah. Lynn Wein, the tragic story of the great Lynn Wein. What a shame what happened to him. He was great though. Yeah, Stephen Ball. Hello there, Stephen.
Oh, Steve.
See you, man.
That's Steve. how's it going, dude?
Yes, Steve. Hey there, man. Let's see here. Where we at? So yeah, so you think how many of the early issues did you have in a row? Like, I mean, did you?
You know what? Now that
You don't have to. I don't put you on the
I'm trying to
spot.
go through them. Yeah, no, I actually have them. I brought them here with me just to look. I don't think I have the Adam Strange one. No, I don't have the Adam Strange one. I haven't bagged and boarded a lot of them, so they're kind of all over the place. But yeah, I've got this one that we're like number 4 I had. Aquaman. See, I've read that one, but I don't have it.
I got you.
I definitely read this one, but I haven't. It's weird because I'm reading some digital and some with the physical copy, so I'm starting to get a bit discombobulated. I don't think I own the physical of this one.
That's cool. I wish they would do an archives or something of this.
Yeah,
because those first, what is this? What is this? Number 4. First 4 issues are all by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. Then, of course, they left. You got the Aquaman one here, or what?
I've read this one. I don't have this one.
Zax. There you go. Looks like a Ross Andrew cover. Looks like a wow. Murphy Anderson did the pencils and inks on this one. Why don't I have this one in my collection? No,
it's actually awesome. Yeah, it's an awesome one.
Damn it! I should have that one. See, like I said, I haven't had a chance to read any of these or look at any of these in forever. I just thought it would be best, since I couldn't get my hands on them, I still would just do the show and just kind of look at covers and reminisce a little bit. I don't have. No, this is one. I don't know if I ever got this one. Did you?
No, I don't have. No. So a lot of these early ones. Which one? What number is that?
That is. Oops. 6.
6.
Number 6.
No, I've got 7 though with Red Tornado. This one was cool too. This one was pretty good too, though. I've read this one.
Cool. I've got to. I got to get at least. I wish they would do digitals of some of these. Well, I mean, like you said, some of them are on Comixology, but
yeah, this one is definitely on Comixology. They don't have them all, I guess, because of maybe some had weird characters with rights issues. I don't remember. But they've got quite a few of them. Like you could probably get almost all of them through Comixology, and they're like $1 or $2. Yeah, this one I've got. This one was great.
Yeah, I love Red Tornado.
Yeah, he's awesome. Great design.
Yes, I kind of like that design better than his original one.
Yeah,
I knew it was a Dick Dillon cover. Paul Levitz is right again. I'm a big fan of Paul Levitz's Legion, and he wrote this one. And here's the thing about this. They rarely, with any of these, except for Brave and the Bold, rarely had a steady writer or artist, but especially writer.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, on Brave and the Bold, Bob Haney did it forever, and Jim Aparo did it forever. That was, I mean, and of course, especially Aparo even by far outlasted Haney. And because when I think the Batman issues of Brave and the Bold, which is like over 100 some issues, of course, I think of Jim Aparo. It's just
me too. I think Aparo Batman is sort of my Batman if I'm picking a Batman. I know that's weird. Some people might pick other.
Not weird at all, sir.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just something about his Batman that is just neat to me. That's a Batman I have as a printout on my cubicle. My entire cubicle at work, which has nothing to do with comics or entertainment industry, is all comic book stuff. Everybody knows. They're just like, I have nothing work related in my cubicle at all. And I don't have any family pictures because who wants to look at them?
Dude, I love it. That's exactly what I would do. And then you got a Swamp Thing and Grundy in an issue.
Oh, this was such a great one.
Steve Englehart wrote this one. Again, Levitz the last time. They have Michelini. So far in the series, Michelini, good writer. Levitz, great writer as well. Englehart, one of the great writers. Comics. Again, they didn't have a regular writer and really never had a regular artist. Murphy Anderson did this one too. Now, I have not read this one in 40 freaking years, probably, or 30. I want it now. Alara Carosin, Mr. Angel. Look at that. All right, man. So yeah, man, I'm glad you've read these. I need to, man.
Yeah, this one was outrageous. There's like Grundys coming out of the sewer and stuff. You're like, whoa! It's like it was awesome.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I read this one too. This one's great too, man. Wonder Woman.
I like since I haven't looked at these, I like seeing who wrote them because it's a big thing with being writers and artists and stuff. And since I haven't looked at these in a while, I'm always kind of shocked. They just this. There was no consistency to the writers. They figure since you do like these one-off stories, they would never hand it to the same person. Now we're back to Martin Pascoe. Oh boy, Joe Staten did the Joe Staten and Jack Abel. Could you have a worse art team? Oh man, dude, how did you get through this with that art?
It's still fun to me. I'm always just like, look, I'm whenever I read comics, and this is the thing, I always read them from like a boy, a 7-year-old boy perspective. Like, this is so cool. Wonder Woman and Superman are teaming up. And then even when I go back and I'm like, maybe this wasn't that good, but I just can't. I don't know. I just have that like the childhood mentality of watching it, being excited, even with movies and stuff too. I'll watch it.
Oh,
sure,
sure.
this is great. And I just get into it.
Sean, yes, that was actually Superman 1. You could be a winner in the second.
Yeah.
Well, it was Superman 2. I'm sorry, because they were filming Superman or about to start filming Superman 2. Yes, they had that with the first film. I remember for years in the DC comics, because Sean mentioned that he was at the bottom. And yes, I remember for years building up to the first film, you had all these different little. Oh, look, ads. Oh, look at it. Mm-hmm. There you go. Let's see. For the Superman movies and stuff like that. You could be a winner in the second Superman movie contest. And yes, because there was a first one. You got to be in the movie. Yeah, isn't that cool?
I love those things. It's like I was looking at some Superman 3 Wheaties or Shreddies like box that had card games in it and stuff. You're like, really? Like,
yeah.
Oh, this was cool too. Superman loses his memory. And he doesn't know who he is, and he doesn't know why he's wearing the costume and stuff. So he literally just puts on like a dead soldier's like outfit or whatever, and then just joins up with Sergeant Rock. It's pretty neat. So he doesn't know he has powers. He doesn't even know that he has the powers. He's just like completely confused. This does not happen. This him coming out of this.
Oh yeah,
I guess it does happen. I
love that cover. No, yeah. Well, back then it rarely did. What was on the cover rarely did. Well, no, I wanted to. Thanks for pointing that out, Sean. I didn't really look at that. Now they used the Whitman for this as the Whitman cover for some reason for this one. But yes, those were these things called Whitman reprints back then, when they would take, Whitman they would sell them in packs and stores and stuff. But still, and that's how I would get my comics sometimes. But yes, Cary Bates wrote this one, and he wrote the Superman regular titles for years. He was a gimmick writer, but I love this. Cary Bates. Oh my God, Joe Staten and Jack Abel in the interior. I love the Ross Andrew cover. And you know what? There was a time, as back then, I would probably have looked at the art on the inside because I can't stand Joe Staten and Jack Abel, especially together. I probably went and didn't buy it. Now I would buy it, but just so you know.
Looking back now with the state of the comics and the industry, and then looking back, you start to rethink some of your choice. You're like, well, this is probably the best comic ever now if I read it now.
Yeah, well, that's what the Clobby Spinner Rack Time Machine's all about. I'm using their comics that I would have turned my nose up back then because I opened it up and didn't care about that kind of genre or those characters. That I would my time traveler self from 2021 would definitely go, oh, I'm gonna buy that now. I gotta have it, Cary Bates again, Joe Staten. Oh boy. Oh, I hated Joe Staten back then. But I love Hawkman.
Hawkman's awesome. They fight each other here, and Hawkman's like beats up Superman. It's like, I'm gonna beat you up, Superman, and you're like, okay.
I appreciate Bates for closing out the Lexa storyline in style before Crisis. Yeah, that's a good point, Decepticon, actually. Sean, if I may call you Sean. That is a good point. Now, Bates, I kind of like the whole Lexar storyline thing, and Bates is just I don't know. Well, Bates, I like the Superman. I kind of like this Flash a little bit more. He's the guy that came up with the term Flash Fact. I think. Well, it was probably actually Julius Schwartz. Probably Julius Schwartz, but I mean, he wrote. I used to love me some Flash Facts.
I never read too many Flash comics. I really like the Flash, and I do like the fact that he has one comic a month and he doesn't have 14 comics a month like other characters. But I'm reading the very most current Flash, but that's the I haven't read Flash in like forever. So I like seeing him appear with other guys. That's always cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's see. The Lexor was it? The Lexor suite is still iconic, even if people don't know what story it came from. Let's see here. Yep, Hawkman. Let's see. Then Ross Andrew cover Mr. Miracle. Let's see who wrote it.
Yeah. I've got two of
Steve
these.
Englehart. Oh, you got that? There you go.
I got two of this one, yeah.
See, now this is one I wouldn't have turned my nose up, not just because I love Kirby's creation, Mr. Miracle. I like Steve Englehart as a writer, and Rich Buckler was always great at ripping either Kirby or Adams or both. And Dick Giordano inking him, I would definitely, this one would have good art in it as well.
Yeah, I like Steve Englehart.
Yep, he wrote Definitive Batman. He wrote the Definitive Bats. With Marshall Rogers. Now there, it would matter.
Go.
Here we go with my Legion. I love. Dude. Yeah. I remember. Isn't it weird how you remember stuff when you were a kid? I mean, what year was this? Let me see how old I was when this came out. That's what the good old database is for. 79-ish. Yeah, let's see here. Yep, 79. So I would. Oh my goodness, I'm old. I would have been around 15, and when I saw Superman in the Legion,
yeah,
I'm like, whoa! And Paul Levitz, again, the greatest Legion writer ever, and it's not even close. Got a Dick Dillon cover, Dick Giordano interiors. Naturally, it is in my collection with all my Legion stuff, right where it belongs.
Well, Dick Dillon's awesome. I'm looking at that original production art that I had showed you.
Oh yes, dude.
So and that's got Superboy. So this is
there it is right there.
It's the first page of this issue, which is what number is this now? 14. So this is where I'm at right now 14. In my modern reading of these, and I'm reading them in order. So I'm going to read this one whenever, tonight or tomorrow.
Damn.
Mike Grow, yeah.
Damn, dude.
That's awesome.
Did you get that thing you were showing?
I'm looking at it. I'm waiting on something. I'm waiting. We're looking to do one more mortgage payment, and then we're going to be.
I understand.
Once we do, we've saved up to do one sum, and then my mortgage should be paid off by February. And
I got you.
Let me tell you something, buddy. The countdown is on. Last time I got laid off of my job our company shut down, and I got a huge severance package. I used the severance package to buy every Doctor Who DVD.
Oh yeah, tell me about that. That's fantastic, dude.
So wait till this mortgage is paid off. It's gonna be offensive. I'm gonna be the most offensive person. I'm just gonna buy everything.
You got to show that, man. You got to show that stuff. Oh my goodness, I love it, dude. Let's see here. Well, Claude with his wasn't Shooter one of the greatest Legion writers? That's why he created Matter Eater Lad. Man. Well, didn't he create Ultra Boy? Actually, no, he didn't create. Edmund Hamilton did that, but he did. Didn't he give Ultra Boy his dumb origin? I thought it was Shooter. Could be wrong. I love Ultra Boy, but I'm sorry, everyone. I get in trouble with Legion circles when I say that Ultra Boy has a dumb origin. He does, but I still love him.
Yeah, Legion. I never read any Legion comic ever, and when your stream got me inspired to go look for it, but when I started to search, I couldn't figure out which ones on Comixology, because I like to just read right away just to get into it, and I couldn't really figure out which ones to start with, because there's a bunch of stuff in there, and I tried the newest thing that came out. I'm like, and you didn't like that. I remember you saying you weren't a fan of that, so I got to go back and try to find. Is it the first iteration? Is that the?
For me, it starts and stops with Adventure Comics 247 and ends at the end of the first Baxter series, which was the Magic Wars 5 before the 5 years later arc, which was 1989. That's Silver and Bronze Legion. I hate everything, but yeah, I'll definitely, if you anytime you're ready to look and let me know, and I'll let you know all the ones.
Yeah,
now,
just send me the story.
Remember, I'm a stickler. You know me. You already know me well enough to know that I'm less tolerant than most people. When I want my characters the way I want them, and I don't tolerate the messing around with them. There might be other stuff that you would read that you might like, but I can point you towards the stuff I consider the real deal.
Yeah, that is what I'm looking for to start with them.
Yep, the Atom.
And I think I've got that one. 15.
Yeah,
I think I got that today.
The Atom's bigger than Superman on there. Black Lightning.
Yeah, I've got that.
So
I actually got quite a few of the last ones we just did. Black
Diddy
Lightning, yes,
O'Neil.
Black Lightning.
Yep. Those were nothing like those late 70s, early 80s Ross Andrew covers. Just, I mean, I like them. I'm just kind of.
Got this one.
That's a Garcia. Yeah. Oh man, Garcia Lopez cover on this one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He was amazing.
I missed the text. You guys talked about the bubbles on the covers. I don't remember what stream that was on when you guys talked about it, but I really do miss that on the covers. I always like this. Looks very exciting to me. I don't like this idea of just having a bunch of characters posed for the camera and then that's supposed to entice me to buy it. I like it's like you're like, oh my god, what's happening here? Like freaking Firestorm and Superman, what the hell they're going at it? Like, what, holy shit, I gotta get this, and you don't get now. I just buy modern comics because I just buy them, so I just go there and it's a pull list, and literally the guy hands it to me. Here's your Superman comics. See ya. I like this, like searching around, and you're like, oh look at like because I would buy. I was going through my comics. I've got so many random dumb comics. I'm like, why did I buy this? And I look at the cover, and I'm like, oh, that's why I bought it because this cover looks kick ass. It's just I don't know.
Yeah, and I love Firestorm, by the way. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, he's
so
awesome.
And this was after his first series when that failed after like 5 issues, and we didn't see him again until he got Fury of Firestorm years later. But he was still, of course, around, in the cartoons and in the Justice League and stuff. So I love that. That's Firestorm to me. No one else is.
Yeah, I like the superpower. Basically, superpowers, the toys, is like my favorite version of everybody. I guess that's probably my favorite version of everybody.
Say right, Mel. Me too, man. Me too. That is my Justice League. And this is always get a kick out of this next one. Zatanna's weird superhero costume. I mean, she's hot.
Yeah,
so
what is this? I mean, yeah, I think I've got that one. I think I got that one today.
Oh, okay, cool. This was again. It was kind of weird. Now it was just kind of weird because around that point, they were just I don't know. She was in the Justice League, and this was written by Jerry Conway. Nobody's perfect. He's I'm not a Conway fan, but Dick Dillon again was at this point still drawing Justice League, and he'd been drawing it forever, and jumping around there. This is not too far from when he passed. Wow.
This one was 1980, February 1980.
Yep. There you go. Yes, indeed. And let's see. And then let's see. You got the next one. I know you got to have this next one here.
That's so weird. What is happening here? This is so weird.
Batgirl. Yeah. This was written by Diddy O'Neil. Okay, there you go. Cool. But yeah, this one, I don't know. Yeah, this dude with the bird thing, like I'm going, wow. That's when comics had to be.
Yeah, look, who haunts this house? We got to find out. Like, I can't not find out who's haunting this house. Like,
you got to know. I got to know.
I got to know. Goes. Yes, Dirty Harry.
I got to know.
You don't get too many of those references.
No, we all we do is talking geek references or even non-geek movie references around here. Matthew Pounder, hello there. I think I already said it, but hello again. And Captain James J. Skywalker, what's up, buddy? I like that name, Captain James J. Skywalker. Let's see here. Then you got number 20, because we're getting close to some that I really have a lot to say about. So, I mean, some issues that I truly love. I love them all now, dude. I've gotten to the point where it doesn't matter. Even like when I goof off about or make fun of the artist or talk whatever, they just all, because of those times and because of granted nostalgia, they all just touch my heart now when I see these old comic books. They fill me with joy just looking at them. Even if I thought it was a dumb, shitty issue back then or something, it doesn't matter now. That just brings me back. It's part of, if you're a comic book geek, it brings you back to a time that you loved, and you don't care so much anymore if that issue sucked or whatever, or you didn't like the art. It's gonna. Right. So I joke it. I remember looking at it going, wow, this really, whoever drew this sucks. Of course, not the case with this one, though.
Yeah,
Because
this
this
is awesome.
one
I've got
here,
this one.
oh, you got the cool, well, it has an Andrew Giordano cover, but Garcia Lopez interior. So, and I love him. Denny O'Neil, the great, he died not too long ago, the great Denny O'Neil. Glenzer, hello there. Thanks for popping in. Good to see you. Let's see here.
Even flipping through these is fun because you see the old ads and you're like, oh yes, I remember this ad with the kid doing like the fast draw with the hubba bubble, hubba bubble
Yeah.
gum, and I'm like, yeah, I remember this ad. It was so lame.
I love it.
Awesome. It's awesome.
Do you ever listen to any of those? There are podcasts out there that cover, you name the comic book or you name the character. There's someone doing a very detailed podcast on it. Well, that's not necessarily what you and I do, but right. They have one, for example, called the Fantastic Cast, which is these guys. They do. I haven't heard them in a little while, but I mean, they always. I could always go back and grab them on one of those services. But what they do is they decided to cover every single story that involves the Fantastic Four from issue one on, including, and I mean, when they break an issue down, they tell you, obviously they talk for hours about every bit of it, the story, the art, everything, and even the ads in the comic. And they have everything about that comic book. And then they, not only that, Strange Tales.
Right.
Because, and Marvel 2-in-1 and what have you, right? When I got into them a couple of years ago, started listening to them, they were up to they were only up to issue FF 200 something, right? That means they've been doing it for a long time, because they would also, like if there was a Marvel 2-in-1 out that month, they would do that one next, and they could go back to FF, right. Covering everything with the character, even if they weren't a guest star in a comic, which is very thorough. And they would sit there, they were pretty good. A couple of, and they must have been doing this forever. In fact, I know they have. I mean, because imagine how long it's going to take. They're probably now just up to 240 something, into the 80s. But my point is, they you talked about the ads, and it made me think about that, because they'll even at the end give you an idea of all the different types of, not everything, but the bigger ads in there and stuff like that, and what music was big at the time, right. And other things about the culture. And so they were on part of some networks, and I guarantee you there's probably a DC Comics Presents podcast somewhere.
I'm going to check and see if I can find one on that. Well, I did create the Facebook group I just created the Facebook group just for no reason other than to just share, because there's nothing out. There's no Facebook group for it. So I thought, what the heck, it takes me 2 seconds.
I'm glad you did, dude. That is great. And I love it, man. I love looking at all the stuff you post on there. So keep it up, man. That's fantastic. Sean says the Treasuries did Superman versus everybody. Yep. The one now, some will reprint, some not though. Wonder Woman one, that was actually, I believe Garcia Lopez did that one, if I remember right. Superman versus Shazam one was by Rich Buckler, and of course Superman versus Muhammad Ali was Neil Adams. I have those, of course. I have a fairly decent sized treasury collection from the 70s and from both Marvel and DC, but I have a buddy of mine has all of it. And when I say all of it, every treasury from them and almost every treasury ever made, and there were a lot of them.
Wow.
From other companies. So, yes, indeed, Sean. I love me some treasury editions.
Sean gave me a couple of the Conan, I guess the treasury edition. Do they call it for Marvel and DC's at the same term for both?
No, the only Marvels are really treasuries. DC doesn't use the term, so they just call it limited collectors or whatever. So I just call those tabloids. But sometimes people just slip and call them treasury editions. There's a really good blog that chronicles every treasury, including again, only Marvel uses treasury. Okay, but so it's a very good blog that covers those. Yeah. And here's one. I don't know if you have this one. There's, of course, Elongated Man. I don't know if you have
I've got the one. I've got Elongated Man, yeah.
That was a weird cover, them in the Fortress. But Captain Comet.
Yeah, I've got that one
like
right
Captain
here.
Comet.
Yeah.
Oh, you got that one? Cool.
I've got
Mike Barr, who was not. I wasn't too much of a fan of Mike Barr, the writer, but Dick Dillon did the art. But let's see. This Captain Comet was usually he was a character from older comics, but he was at the time. I think this is there was a series called Secret Society of Supervillains.
Yep.
I don't know if you're familiar with it, which Bob Rozakis, the Answer Man, did, and it never finished. And So Captain Comet popping in. I always liked him. He was probably pretty much in that book mostly. He was usually the one hero in that comic. But that was actually a fun comic.
Yeah, and this looks really cool. Like this is why I like these covers where it's like, oh my god, it's like the Attack of the Human Comet. You're like, whoa.
Yep.
No, I remember you said you were thinking about supervillain team up, and then you kind of didn't. I can't remember. You were thinking about it, and then you just decided not to.
I just wanted to do the superhero ones, but I actually will do supervillain team up in the future, though. Sean, yeah, absolutely. You know what I got? Supervillain team up lasted like 16 or 17 issues. We have a store. I don't know if you guys have it up there. It's called Ollie's Discount or Ollie's Bargain something outlet or whatever. It's kind of like they sell. Well, they have this big books. They sell things, basically items similar like to a Walmart but cheaper prices, like clearance type stuff.
Right.
Well, they have a book section that has different types of books, all types of books, including tons of trade paperbacks and hardcovers of comics. Now, usually, and I'm talking like, for example, to take a trade paperback that's cover price, something like, as an example, like a $24 or a $19 trade, it'll be in there for $3.
Right.
Now, 9 times out of 10, they don't have anything I really want that much, but I go scour them every now and then, and I've gotten. Well, let's see. I got the Captain America Vibranium Edition, gigantic book, which is a $225 cover price, which is it weighs about 20-something pounds. It's bigger. It's not a coffee table book. It is a coffee table without legs. You need a wheelbarrow to get it out of there. It was $40.
That's crazy.
It's the 75th anniversary one, and it's just you can't read it because you'd have to have superpowers.
Right, you can't even hold it up or whatever. Yeah,
but for 40, dude. And so that's the type of thing you can find there sometimes. Well, they had a supervillain team up trade that has it all in there. And I just about a year or so ago, whatever, I said, well, that's a weird thing to do a trade on. But oh my goodness, it's like $4 or $5 or whatever it was.
Yeah, I love Namor. I just bought the digital version of that just to have it or whatever. But that's super worth it. We have a dollar store that does cheapy, but it's all like the last thing they put out was like Earth 2, but the Earth 2. The newer Earth 2 stuff that they had done. I don't remember when it came out, but I actually did read it when it was coming out. And it's like, it's nothing that I want. Like I kind of go through, I'm like, there's not really anything for me. So that's really the only place we have. It's like a dollar. It's like a Dollarama or I can't Dollar Tree or Dollarama. I don't know what the Canadian version is, but it has books and they're not that great.
You never know what you can find at some of these places, but Ollie's had, a book just like the one I just told you about that I've never been able to find. It was a book with a bunch. It was a Kirby book, and I saw people were finding it at other Ollies around the country. Say, go to Ollie's, this might be there, and never could find it here, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's how it always is. Somebody always finds it.
Venom Outsider, what's up, brother? But I love Dr. Fate.
Yep, I've got this one.
This issue. Joe Staton interior. Vince Coletta inking Joe Staton. There was a time I would have just jumped off of something, but I'd probably buy it now. Oh my goodness.
This book is advertising the Black Hole coming to theaters, man. That's awesome. I love Black Hole. That's a kick-ass movie.
I went to the theater on, I think, if I remember right, it was like New Year's Eve or New Year's Day to see that.
Awesome.
I'd like to see that again. I haven't seen that in a long time. We're getting close to some. Oh my God, this is one issue I really loved.
Yeah, I've got this one too.
This one, did you ever? Let's see here. Did you ever get any of those old DC digests?
No, you know who's the digest master is Sean. He is the grand. Nobody at any show could buy because Sean walks in and immediately goes to every table and buys all the digests. No one else who's ever attended a show that Sean has attended has been able to purchase a digest. I swear to God, you're laughing, but it's kind of crazy. He'll even rebuy ones he already has. And I'm like, you just bought this. And it's like, oh, whatever. And then he ends up giving them to me. So sometimes I just keep my mouth shut. And then he'll buy them. And then he'll be like, oh, I've got doubles here. You could have it.
I bought them all back then. And I still have all of my digest. I almost have every one, but I'm missing a few. Just the other day, Claude at the comic shop bought a bunch. We got a bunch of them. He scored about like 12 of them this past Saturday at the comic shop. They're tiny, but I love them. I really love Adventure. Adventure Comics, of course, which ran from the 30s to the 80s. Issue number 492 or 3 or whatever. They went digest after being a comic book size forever, and they were just Legion reprints and a few other reprints for like up until issue 503, and I have all of those, of course.
Wow.
So yes, what Steven saying? The digest sellers weep for joy when they see Sean walk in.
That's right.
I'm with you,
There's
Sean.
a few guys that know him. They do know him.
I'm with you, Sean, dude. I love a digest. I mean, with my eyesight, I need a magnifying glass these days, but I don't care. I've still got all of mine, and I've got just the DC ones. Marvel didn't really do any that were exactly the same format. They did do some stuff with some, and I know Archie and some other ones did, but I just have the DC ones, of course, and I couldn't speculate how many I have, but I got to be somewhere up to the 75% of them at least, maybe. And this story, they did. They used to do their top 10 stories of the year. DC did, and for some reason, I missed this comic on the rack, but I got it in the digest. The story with the dead
cool.
man.
So I work at a box. I actually work at a box factory. I work in the office. There's a point to this. So I make my own comic boxes when I need them. I have
wow.
I have a layout, so the guy just makes it for me. So I actually had my designer design me a digest comic box with the handles and the lid, so it looks like a long box, but it's sized for digests. And I made one for Sean. I made a couple for Sean. I can't remember if they. Well, Sean can tell us in the chat. I don't know how many I made for you, but I actually made long boxes in digest size.
Yep, that's fantastic. Yep. I love it because I just have them on a shelf. But I did make bags for them, and I think I even made boards for them. I had to cut them out.
Oh my god, that's great.
From regular boards. There you go. And I love the Phantom Stranger, and you've got an Hourman story in this one.
Yeah, I've got this one too.
Goldkey and I did a lot of digest. That's true, but I only have the DC ones. Sean, we reached, brother. I love me some digests. This one, Dick Dillon. Well, the great Paul Levitz, of course, and then an Hourman story that I think was a. I don't know. Was that a reprint? I can't remember. Anyway,
did you just quote Eden, Star Trek? We reached that.
I did.
That almost slipped by me. You almost got that one through me, but I did catch it.
I do it often. Yeah, we reached, brother. We reached, Mr. Spock.
Here's one of your super duper expensive ones.
Yep, this is one of the ones I wanted to focus on a little bit here, and oddly enough, not really. Well, obviously for what you're talking about, but also, if it hadn't been for the New Teen Titans insert, and good Lord, I ordered as heavily as I could on this one, and still this one I just started. It was before we started the comic shop, but we were finding these everywhere, and I ordered from as back issues as many as I could from when we opened. But this one here. It would have been worth a little bit anyway, just because Jim Starlin. That's Jim Starlin art, and I thought this was also led to a kind of a saga. But like you said, the most important thing is the New Teen Titans.
Yeah, so I don't have this one, unfortunately. I do have New Teen Titans #1 though. I have that, but I don't have this. I saw this at a show last Sunday. Had it in my hand. It looked like it was very watered. It looked like it was water damage, and the fellow wanted $80. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna pass. So for you guys, and that's probably like 60 or something. So it seems like the dollar amount is not bad at all, but it looked water damage. I thought, you know what, forget about it. I don't care about condition that much, but once you're getting into the $50, $60, $70, $80, then I'm like, well, I need it to be a little bit okay, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I totally get that, man. This was one. I bought the previous Teen Titans comic once in a while, but when I saw there was a new Teen Titans, I was like, I wasn't all that excited. Then I saw, it's by, well, not just because of Marv Wolfman. I loved him on Tomb of Dracula. It was George Perez. So I'm like, oh wow, this looks good. And but I would have bought this comic. I really wasn't paying that much attention. I got it off the rack because it's Green Lantern, B, it's Jim Starlin. So that was also a lot of the reason I got this one. And this is the one I mentioned earlier. There were a couple I wanted to focus on a little bit. These, to me, we're coming up on one of the best, even though it was short. And they don't have too many runs on these series in terms of like a creative team doing, connected tissue in terms of story and all that kind of stuff. But they did here for a while there. You have these Jim Starlin. Let me change the picture. Damn it. Okay, this Jim Starlin doing art, but he also did part of the the plotting and everything with Len Wein. And it was I believe this was this the first Mongol?
Yeah, first Mongol should be. I don't remember the number of that one, but it's up there. I think I've got it written. I actually have it written down somewhere.
It is. It's the first Mongol.
It is number 27. Is that number 27 there? Yeah, that's the
27. And again, Jim Starlin. Look, I love him. Let's just be honest about something. Starlin kind of copied himself a lot. First of all, his Thanos was wasn't necessarily all that original. I love Thanos. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Then you got a guy who's at least kind of a similar type of character, not exactly, but he's nothing really exactly like him, but he's a big. Right. Visually, I would say there's a similarity. Put it like that. And he did it a couple of times with even Lord Papel or whatever in his great Dreadstar comic. Then he did it again in Gilgamesh 2. He did it. He did it a lot. The same type of, similar in design and character. But these are really good. And I was a big Starlin fan at the time, so there was no way I wasn't buying this comic. And for a lot of reasons. And of course, I always loved Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, he's a cool character.
Yeah. And I think we're getting up to my favorite issue. No, we're a little late. We're almost there. We're getting close to my favorite issue of DC Comics Presents. This was a good one as well, though, with Supergirl.
I've got the Supergirl one.
I keep forgetting to change
28
the cover. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so this would be the second Mongol appearance, then, right?
Yep. War World. Yeah. Great cover. That's a great cover. Good Lord.
Yeah, that is an awesome cover.
Then when we get to 29, this is probably my favorite issue of all.
I don't have this one.
Well, I won't spoiler it then, because I love the story, simple though it is. I love the art. I just something about this issue. And I remember I was reading this run and really loving it. But man, this issue blew me away. Look at that cover.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, it's a great cover. And I love the Spectre. So yeah.
Yeah, he's cool.
Man, he's pretty powerful too. This gives you kind of a clear idea of how powerful he was. And then, I think, I guess it's tough. That was that's maybe the closest you could probably get to there being a saga on DC Comics Presents. Because after that, or a multi-story, I should say.
Yeah, most of them don't really continue.
Yeah.
Black Canary.
Black Canary.
Do I have that one? Yes, I have that one.
Kurt Swan and Vince Coletta. Well, I love Swan, but Coletta, how dare you? I mean, yeah, man. Julie,
can the Spectre beat Superman?
Think that.
Phantom Outsider saying he's
I can't
too overpowered. Nobody beats Superman. Period. I don't care what writers say. The writer is wrong.
You may not like this issue. I can't say anything because I don't want to spoil you, but I loved it. Yeah, but he is, after all, Spectre is the wrath of God. I mean,
that is yes, that's true. But
yeah, I mean, I just saying.
All right.
It's a crazy issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, but so I can't say anything about that. But yeah, what the hell? I'm having a bit of a
Yeah, Black
Hold the
Canary.
hand.
So yeah, I've got that one.
Let's see here. Go to the next one here. Yep. I love Black Canary for obvious reasons.
She's awesome.
Yeah, and then we get into some of these kind of goofy covers.
I've got that one
and
too.
Robin.
Well,
Yep,
Robin needed a boost. What do you want?
No, it's fine. Hey, the art had Garcia Lopez interior. Again, he kept every now and then he would just pop right back to DC Comics Presents, and you get no complaint from me out of that one. Says the Andrew covers, as much as I love them, are kind of goofy. Like this next one. Oh my God,
Yeah,
Superman!
I've got that one too.
Woman. Wow.
Yeah, that's a thing. I'm not a fan of that. Even though I love both characters, I don't know why people get all into that. I'm not a big fan of that.
Well, you know what? In this case, this was being done for shock value. As you can see, Lois is Lois and Steve Trevor are not happy.
So they should get together to get revenge. Like this would be the thinking that you'd have with the modern writer.
Should.
It's like, oh, let's have.
That's the way I would write it. Yes. And I don't.
I've got this one too. Actually, this is awesome.
I love this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was crazy stuff right here. Them switching costumes. Conway. But Rich Buckler did nice art on that one, by the way. Why do I keep buzzing? I keep buzzing. Stop buzzing my phone. Weird notifications that I don't know. Let's see here. Now, I'm thinking you're getting. I mean, you don't have that many gaps on this.
This is the lot that just came in, so I'm still like processing what I got. I don't have. Oh no, I do have that one. No, I've got that one as well. Wow.
Yep, more Marvel family. Yes, he's Captain Marvel. He's not Shazam. Yeah, he's
Captain Marvel.
And I hate it. Oh god, dude, nothing drives me up the wall. I understood, even in the 70s they had to call this comic book Shazam with the title.
Right.
Yeah, I can live with that, but I hate it when you say Captain Marvel and I love the Marvel. I love Marvel, but I'm sorry, the big red cheese is Captain Marvel.
Yeah, he's Shazam, Captain Marvel.
And I hate it when they call him Shazam.
I'm a fan of Ms. Marvel too. Like I like Carol Danvers and stuff like in those early. Like I like Captain Marvel. So I've got nothing against Carol Danvers at all.
No.
The Captain Marvel is really Shazam. Like this Captain Marvel now is just rubbish. It's like it's not the real Captain Marvel. I hate that we have to say Shazam because it pisses me off. How do you say your name? Like who are you? I am Shazam. I can't say it because I'll turn. And
that's
like I don't know.
One of the things I really hated in that movie, and look, I thought the movie was when I first saw it, I didn't mind it as much, but second thought aggravates me in a lot of ways because I love Captain Marvel and I think they're just disrespecting him. I never really liked when the whole having Billy's mind to be front and center when he's Cap. That was done in the 80s or some crap like that. Usually he's supposed to have the wisdom of Solomon.
Right. Where is that?
Where it's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. Oh, now.
Yeah.
And I hate that crap. And when they didn't even get close, with all these Captain Sparkle fingers and all stuff, I want to punch somebody in the throat when I'm watching that. I'm like, shut up. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Jerk offs.
It's not Captain. Yeah, we can do a whole thing on that. It's not really. It's like it's a fun movie as a movie if you just call it a movie, but it's not really Shazam. And the family thing is interesting, I suppose. It's from the comics, but I don't really like that in the comics either, where there's like 14 of them and they all have, it's a rainbow of Captain Marvel people. It's like,
that's because, and it's too based on that filth, the Screw 52. What the Screw 52 did to the real Captain Marvel that they like to call Shazam. I remember when again, as I said, I didn't buy the Screw 52, but every now and then I would go to the store and look at it so I could talk about it a little bit. I'd be like at the Barnes and Noble or whatever. When that filth came out, what they did to him, and it was in the back pages of their garbagey Justice League comic, I wanted to beat somebody. I mean, it made me ill to see what he did to Billy Batson. I wanted to just throw up. And Jeff Johns, you should be ashamed of yourself because you've done things I liked before. What you did to Billy Batson was an absolute disgrace, and I hope I'm just going to say it. Shame on you. Shame on you doing that to a wholesome, wonderful character, turning him into a little shithead. And
I didn't like any of that stuff. Even in the movie, he's a bit irritating. It's like, why are you so irritating? I don't know.
Oliver Belmonte, good to see you. Yeah, I remember I was pretty upset by it. probably more upset than I should be as an adult, but I'm not an adult. So what can I tell you? Man Bat. Yeah, I like him. Now here we go.
So I was missing the Man
back.
Bat one.
Oh, okay.
But I've got this one. So there was a gap there. We just had one gap, and then I'm back to
one gap.
This one now.
Oh, okay. You got a pretty good straight line going there, dude. Starlin and Starlin did full art and helped write this one, and I just it's weird. He did this kind of weird version of Starman. There's been only like 20,000 Starmans.
there are.
But yeah, again, great art, great cover. Let's see here. Man, another Starlin cover.
Yeah, I got this one.
Go Hawk Girl. And again, if I saw a Starlin cover on something back then, I'm buying it. Boom.
It's automatic.
I gotta have it. It's automatic. And yep. So this was again, but I couldn't tell you what the story was about. Now it's been so long. I don't know if you.
I've not read this one, but Rip Hunter's in there.
It has a Rip Hunter story in there, huh?
Yeah, so it's like whatever happened to they had a lot of these, whatever will happen or whatever happened to. This one actually says whatever will or did happen to Rip Hunter Time
Rip
Master. Hunter. Well, he's the star of a very garbage CW show. But
yes, he is.
Other than that,
Rory with Rory.
With Rory,
I
like Rory.
I like Rory.
Yeah, he was all right.
Yeah, I like him, but man, I hate the whole. And here's the thing. All right, it's not exactly about DC Comics Presents, but here's a big pet peeve of mine back then. This is a fantastic cover by George Perez.
Yeah.
I mean, beautiful. One of my favorite, covers of the era. And then you open it up, and the interior art is by Dazzling Donnie Heck.
Don Heck, yeah.
Now, I didn't know back then what I know now about comics history. I was just a kid. I was 15, 16, whatever. I would open up, I'd see a cover, go, whoa. And sometimes I'd buy it, and like a dumbass, I'd open it. I'd buy it, and I would get home like, oh, my God. I learned my lesson, but at first, and this happened to Justice League comics all the time back then. I would open up and go, Jesus Christ, what the happened from the cover to the intent? I mean, I know they have cover artists for a reason, but as a kid, I got caught. Like I would buy an issue of Invaders with a Gil Kane or even a Kirby cover, and it would have Frank Robbins on the end. Now, I didn't know at the time, but Dazzling Donnie Heck and some of these artists were in their late 60s. They've been in the industry since the golden age. Some of them 60s. They couldn't draw anymore. Their eyes were failing them. Their hands were, because they've been drawing so much. I didn't know that. They were getting gigs because, they were these companies were trying to churn stuff out.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I didn't even realize. Like I always thought the person who did, like I literally thought there was a writer and an artist, and the artist did everything. Like I didn't think, oh, there's a cover, then there's someone who inks it, and then there's someone, it's like pencils and all. Like I didn't think of that. I'm like, well, you're the artist. Didn't you draw this? It's like, well, I kind of didn't. It's like, oh. So I never even knew that. Like you look in, you're like, hey, that's not the same. That's not the same guy. What happened here?
No, they got a writer, they got a penciler, they got an inker, they got a letterer, a colorist. Oh, they didn't have computers to do all that crap for them like they do now.
Yeah.
I like Don Heck's old stuff, Matthew. By the way, I like his old Avengers and stuff like that. What he in the late 70s though, what he did on Flash, and he was doing the Flash title at this time, by the way. Or was a little before that. Maybe this is when Infantino went back. But again, as a kid, you don't know all that stuff. So you didn't know these are poor old men just lucky to get a gig because they need to work. Now I feel bad about it. Every time I said, he sucks. God, I want to beat him up. All kind of stuff. Now I feel bad about it. Poor old. I'm sorry, Don. I'm sorry, Carmen. I met Carmen later when I started to understand that, and met Carmen Infantino, and it was, he was a grouchy old cuss, but he was Carmen Infantino. So it was cool, And I never got to meet Donnie. Dazzling Donnie Heck, as Stan called him. Oh, man. But that Perez cover is just fantastic. Back to a Ross Andrew cover with Plastic Man.
I don't have this one.
Well, another Marty Pascoe with a Staten interior. You're better off not. I know you're completist. You got to get them all, though. Because you got to. Yeah, you got to get them all because they got a Richard Dragon story in there anyway.
I have to brag to all
Richard
my.
Dragon.
I have to brag to.
Huh?
Oh, I was gonna say I have to brag to everybody that I have the DC Comics Presents full lot, and then they'll be like, "What are you talking about?" And I'll be like, "Well, you suck. Bye."
Yeah, you got them all. You're gonna have all
I got 'em all.
97 and all 4 annuals, dude. Metamorpho. See, I love Metamorpho.
Yeah, he's cool.
Irv Novick pencilers. See, here's what I'm talking about, by the way. These guys were Jerry Conway's a putz. He was young. Irv Novick did the pencils on this Metamorpho issue, right? He was very old. I loved his Flash. As Batman wasn't quite as good, but it was okay. But he was inked by a guy named Frank McLaughlin, who was a very old man at the time. DC Comics were a bunch of dickheads because I swear to you, they printed this letter in the back of a Justice League comic. He was inking Dick Dillon on Justice League, right? Some guy, or was it? It was either that or him inking Novick on Flash. I forgot what it was. Someone wrote a letter saying Frank McLaughlin should be dragged out into the desert and chained to a cactus.
Oh my God!
His inks are garbage. Now, to get stuff like that's probably not uncommon. Why in the hell would you print that in the letters page? Who did he piss off?
Who printed that? Like, give me a break.
Right. The editor said, Julie Schwartz was a nice guy, so I can't believe he did it. He must have just thought the guy was a jerk, so he said, yeah, this would be fun. Maybe he just thought it'd be funny. Maybe Frank thought it was funny. I hope so.
It would be interesting to hear to see, or how many, what they like, if that made it in, what got rejected, right?
Oh God, yeah. Yes, your new artist really sucks, man. I want to beat him with a baseball bat.
We want to murder this person. It's like, okay, let's not print that one. Like, okay.
Please put the address of this artist in here so I can go to his house and throw coke at him. It's like, what the? Yeah, I'm sure they got that a lot. You got a really good artist on this comic because you changed it to something that really sucks, man. I'm going to kick your asses. I'm coming down there.
Yeah, if you thought like Twitter anonymity was bad, it's like, well, the letter pages of the, and the problem with this is like a lot of this stuff is after the fact. Like now we see a trailer and then we can tweet and say "F you, this is shit." But back then you paid your money, you paid your 60 cents, and you're like, God damn, this is shitty. And then you gotta write a letter. Your penmanship is probably awful. Then the editors get like, God, what am I gonna do with this?
That is so true. That is so true. But this was this issue here.
I've got this one.
Are you familiar with the new direction for Wonder Woman?
No, I didn't. This issue is really roughed up, so I actually bagged it. I bagged it like kind of right away because it was a bit of a roughed up one, so I didn't flip through this one.
This is when let's see. Sean says, I feel like Plast's appearance here was part of Plastic Man's big push in the 70s and early 80s. Yep. He got a guest spot on Super Friends in his own show and got a Superpowers figure. That could be. They were not above doing that. I mean, they definitely manipulated everything around these for sure. So yes. Yeah. This was all right. They were starting a new direction for Wonder Woman. I love that back then it just simply meant a new creative team. And they weren't going to try to reinvent the wheel and change everything about their history and all that other kind of crap. Mr. John Byrne, revisionist jerk off. Sorry.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
That's a you and Sean stream. I'm just gonna hide in the corner while you guys bitch about that.
I'm ready for it.
I kind of liked it, and then it's like, shut
Damn
up.
You.
Don't
remember our namesake, Mark C. Comics Talk, my buddy Mark C. and I.
He's a John Byrne fan. Yeah,
he's the biggest Byrne fan. Yeah, and a year ago, for years and years, he bought comics for me as a kid. And didn't even know about it until we met. But for years and years, we'd bump into each other in town. So when are you gonna have me on to talk about? Because I said, yeah, you can come on and talk about. We'll talk about the whole Byrne crap. And then he messed with me for years. Chicken, hey, chicken, So when I moved to YouTube, like I said, a little over a year ago, we did that show where we talked about what I hate. I hate the Byrne reboot, and he loves it. I still like a lot of Byrne stuff. I just think that, and I've told my dear friend Mark before, you're the second biggest John Byrne fan I've ever met. John Byrne being the first biggest.
Yeah, and he is like that too. You see him in interviews and stuff.
Boy.
Well, I mean, I like John Byrne. He did cool stuff with Wonder Woman too, and like there's like X-Men and stuff. Like I don't know. Now this one, Do I have this one? Yeah, I got
Unknown
this one.
Soldier.
Unknown Soldier. That's cool.
Kind of an odd issue. I think this one made the top 10 DC stories in one of those digests, but I could be wrong. I think it's possible. Yeah, this was a kind of a weird one there. But the Unknown Soldier, again, I didn't read a lot of the war comics back then.
I don't watch a lot of war movies or read a lot of war comics either. I don't know. For some reason, I just couldn't get into that genre that much. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would see them on the shelves and that's pretty cool. And I would like flip through them and then, or the rack, and then go right back to buying my regularly scheduled superhero comic, which was already in progress.
We got Sandman here, special. What happened to Sandman?
Oh, Wesley Dodds Sandman, and here we go. This was when Brian Boland was first starting out, only doing covers or mostly covers. This was around the time way before he did Camelot 3000. So you have a Brian Boland cover with the Legion.
And I've got that one.
No hard sell needed for that.
Yeah, I got this one. This is cool.
Paul Levitz, yeah, nice. My lovely Legion in there. So enough said on that one. Let's see here. We'll go quicker.
Oh, I love this one. First issue I ever read.
Wow.
This is the first one I ever read.
Is it really?
Yeah, this is the first one I read. I have two of them. Dial H. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, man. I first of all, I love Dial M for Murder, the movie. And I know they kind of borrowed that. And I don't know. I just think it's like such a wicked. Like I just feel like if I could just randomly buy like a property from DC and then just do my own thing, it'd be this, because I have all these like interest, like cool ideas that I'd love to see this as a show or something. I love the idea that kids would write in and make up heroes for them to transform into, and they'd give a little credit to the kid, like, so John Smith from Kentucky or something created this character. It's neat.
Oh yeah, well absolutely. This it was there was a Silver Age version in House of Mystery. It was a feature in that called Dial H for Heroes. Yes. A guy named Robbie Reed. And then in the late 70s, in Adventure Comics, they brought it back for a while, and they did just what you were talking about, let kids create these heroes and stuff. And I was looking through those recently, and I found one splat. I totally forgot about it. There was one created, because they would always, like you said, they would give the name of the kid. You get your name on there from where you're from and stuff. You know who one of the kids' names was?
Oh.
He was not a kid. He was in his 50s. His name was Harlan Ellison. Harlan Ellison from Sacramento, California.
Oh my gosh.
He created a character called Silver Fog in an Adventure Comics issue with the new Dial H for Hero. These are the new Dial H for Hero.
Right.
And Harley Ellison did
one.
Oh my gosh. Because he wrote a lot of comics, but I thought that was just hilarious. And we had a guy when I was talking about that one night a couple of weeks ago, who jumped in and said he had a friend, and I forget who this was now, who created, got one of those created, and we ended up tracking him down. I can't remember the name. We did a lot during the show because it was an open show. I tracked him down. I found like one panel on the internet of this character that his friend created for that comic.
I'm looking up Harlan right now just to see all the stuff that. Oh my god, he's like done so much. Holy crap!
Oh, Harlan, no, it was something. Sean says. Let's delete everything fun about Superman, from Superboy to Supergirl to Bizarro World, and classic Phantom Zone characters, and anything else I can think of. Really make it dull, John. Yes, he turned him into Super Yuppie, Sean.
Oh, you know those characters are coming back, guys. It's comics.
By the way, Byrne agrees with us on one thing, Sean. Byrne regretted what he did to Superboy. Plus, here's what I hated about it. Byrne said in an interview right before he said, "Nothing ever happened to Superman unless I say so." He said that. That made me want to. I'm not going to talk about violence here. That pissed me off. And then he just turned. I hated his. I don't know. I hated him. Depowering Superman was a cliche by that point. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but yeah. So now I'm with you, Sean. I better stop. I'm surprised Dial H hasn't been a kid show. Heck, let's toss Sugar and Spike into that pile too. Yeah, I love Sugar and Spike. They even made an appearance on Batman Brave and the Bold. Well, on a truck on Batman Brave and the Bold. Oliver says, I read from a friend of mine the DC showcase of Alan Moore entitled For the Man Who Has Everything. That was an annual number of Superman annual number 11, Oliver. let's see. That is it's where Batman and Robin fight Mongol and Superman subdued by the plant. That's one of my all-time favorite comics. The Black Mercy. They adapted it. I love the Bruce
cartoon,
Timm Justice League cartoon, but they adapted that story very poorly, in my opinion. Even though I still love that show.
Yeah, it was like a 20. Was that in Justice League or in Superman?
It was Justice League Unlimited.
It was Justice League Unlimited. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, and it was like 20 minutes or something, right? So it's kind of I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to do a 20-minute kid version of that to just quickly get something out there.
They changed some stuff. Is what really aggravated me the most, and they added some stuff that didn't belong in there. Right. But and they can't touch that story. Look. I admit it. I'm a sicko Moore freak. I love a lot of Moore's 80s and 90s stuff. I admit that some, as much as I love Watchmen, it probably should never happen. We've talked about that before, but still, at least, I don't know. Anyway, at least it wasn't a DC Comics Presents issue with him teaming up with Rorschach or anything. There you go.
Right.
Firestorm. I love Firestorm.
Yeah, I've got this one.
Man, when did you start getting these?
So I'm crazy. I just started getting them like a month and a half ago or 2 months ago. I'm crazy.
Wow.
Like once I start Doctor Who, I'm like, I must buy all Doctor Who. It's like once I start, that's the problem. My wife starts to get nervous, and now I get nervous because she reads manga. She does the same thing now. She's like, I just started a manga. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ. I'm like, okay, I got to start ordering all of these. She's like, no, don't order it yet. I haven't said it's great. I was like, there's not been one manga that she hasn't read that she hasn't thought was great, and then we have to buy all. I was like, we're gonna be buying it. So let me just start buying it now. So it's like we're crazy. It's like I will read one issue of Legion of Superheroes, and then I'll just like, okay, I must own everything, and then I'll just buy it all. I don't know. It's just I just tell him, oh, here you go, He-Man. Yes,
there you go.
There you go.
It's Stuntmaster was thank you, Phantom. Outside of that character that guy created was Stuntmaster. I can't remember who told me about that, Phantom, but thank you. Phantom is a memory reserve because I'm memory terrible. So what you're saying is Byrne confessed to destroying Krypton? Isn't planetary genocide? I don't think it's prosecutable anymore. I think genocide's perfectly fine if you're a comic book writer. I think it's actually legal now. There you go. There's the one you are going to have. You will have this one.
I will have it for sure. I had it in my hand a month ago or so, and I only passed on it. You ever pass on something when the guy who's selling it is being weird?
Yes.
I asked him like, okay, what he had a bunch. So I was like, okay, what do you want for these? He's like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, he didn't have price tags on anything. So he's just literally making it up. And I'm not one of these people who's I don't know what's that new terminology like that. Not like profiling. It wasn't racial profiling. It was profiling, but I profiled them. I'm like, right. You know what? I'm like, you're just making this shit up. And like he wanted like $30 for an issue that I got here for that was like $3. It's like he doesn't even know. He's like, "I'll do 30 for this one, 40 for this one, 200 for this one." I'm like, that sounds very random. I'm like, yeah, forget it, and then whatever.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Now, look, I hate one of the things like this is a big pet peeve of mine at comic shops. Yeah. If I go into a comic shop, and it's one thing to see overpriced comics. Lord Thought, right, bro, what's up? I can because I have a term for that. When I see comics ridiculously priced, or anything ridiculously priced, I guess it's priced to keep. Right. That ain't flying off the wall anytime soon.
Yeah.
But you know what I really can't stand? It's one thing to have nothing on the no price necessarily on some of the stuff on the wall. When you're going through the boxes and there's no price on them, and you say, "Well, how much is this one?" Well, I don't know. We'll have to look it up when you bring it up here. I'm like, screw you. I'm not touching it. Go to hell. I don't want it. I don't care if it's $1. If you don't have a price on it now, you're gonna go look up Overstreet, whatever. When I bring it up there, you can suck it.
Yeah. And did you tweet that? Somebody tweeted that not too long ago. Where there's they took a photo of the sign in front of the shop saying we reserve the right to reprice back issues or something. I'm like, what?
somebody did. Was it EVS? I can't remember who it was.
It was
But
either
I'm
it was
out.
somebody.
Do we do that stuff?
Maybe it was Doomcock or EVS, or it could have been Loki. I don't know. Somebody.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what? That pisses. That I'd be like, well, I'm done. Like that would kill it right there.
I'm out. I mean, it's one thing that you left the price off of it by accident or some shit like that, but I'm going, none of these are priced. I can't. That's part of when you are looking through the box, folks. Unless it's a quarter box. I'm sorry, they don't make quarter boxes anymore. They have dollar boxes, but they used to be quarter boxes when I was a youngster. There were quarter boxes, but okay, they're dollar boxes. That's one thing. Or if I don't look, even if it's overpriced, at least you got a price on it.
Yeah.
Even if it's a book that should be $5-6 and you got $20 on it, I'm not going to buy it. But I go, oh, okay, screw that. I'm out of there. But you don't have any price that aggravates the crap out of me because I got to stop every time. I got to think, I'm going to pick all these books out. Right. And then he's going to sit there and price them out of Overstreet. And I'm going to sit there an hour watching this guy. And if you can't put a price on it, you're a lazy bastard. You're a shitty comic shop.
Yep.
You suck.
Yeah, I remember the quarter bins. My best quarter bin was 80 books. I grabbed 80 books, and I'm like, and I was taking home. It's like you couldn't even carry the bags and stuff. But like, I think I got almost the entire run of Dazzler for a quarter each, except for maybe number 1 in her first appearance or something. But like other than that, I got like it was crazy. It was just like, I love the quarter bins.
Yeah.
I love He-Man mini comics.
My best quarter bin acquisitions. I don't know, experience, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
In Atlanta Fantasy Fair 1990, when I've been hanging out with Jack and Ross Kirby. They were at the table, kept going and talking to them. It was the greatest geeks experience I ever had, hanging out with them. And I just found a bunch of Kirby's Jimmy Olsen issues in the quarter box.
Oh wow!
And I was excited. I already had them, but I got new ones. I promise you, I was not going up there fishing. I just walked up there to show her because we've been talking earlier. I showed her, hey, look what I found. And she takes them out of my hand, goes to take them. Well, he's not doing any signings at this con, as we told you before, but I'll bring him up to the room and get Jack to sign these for you.
Oh, my God.
I wanted to cry because I know, look, the only reason they were at that con is because Jack answered the phone instead of her. She was out shopping, and he could never say no to anyone. That's what she told me. And so
oh my God.
When she said that, I'm like, oh, I wanted to cry. And I said, oh, no. I actually got his autograph at the last con we met at in 86 in Dallas, and I told her about it. But I said, I really appreciate it, but now I know his hand. I know his arm is hurting, his hand and everything. I can't do that, but thank you. I just showed him to her because we've been talking. She was so nice.
Oh my god! But
that's my greatest quarter box experience, obviously.
Wow. Yeah, no, that is all. Yeah, now all those issues are just going to be up just because Kirby's name's on it, so it doesn't matter. It's just you can't. Yeah, quarter bins are done. Dollar bins. I've got 50-cent bins at one shop, but that's where I get all of my comics that will not be named on this stream because of the person that you don't like. So that's where I get a lot of those 50-cent ones.
you mean Burn? You mean Burn?
No.
Oh,
Someone that no. Who we talked about earlier. Who I like and you don't like.
So, I can't even imagine now. I love everybody. So. This is Jar Jar Abrams or something. No, I'm just kidding.
No, gosh, no. Nobody likes J.J. Abrams.
Not even his wife.
I looked that up.
And yeah, you can Google it. Nobody, if it's official, instantly, nobody likes Jar Jar Abrams. Not even Jar Jar Abrams, probably. No, he loves himself.
He has to remake himself. Himself.
I don't know. He probably walks around like he'll watch one of his movies. He'll catch it on TV. He goes, "Wow, I really suck." They're kind of right. My movie's a piece of crap. I'm not going to say anymore. But
I was trying to bag and board these while we were going through them. I thought this would be a good check because I could look through them quickly.
Go for it, man.
But like it's like so I've got this one. I had the last few as well, so I'm a bit behind on my bagging. But yeah, so I've got this is cool too. Like having them attack Black Adam. Is he still called Black Adam, or did they change that already?
He's Black Adam right there.
Oh, I mean in the modern.
Oh, I don't know. That I'm not even going to bother with that stupid movie, so I don't know. But I think that you're right. They're probably going to. Now that might be a joke. What's it they call Shazam or some crap? That could have been some stupid joke that an idiot Bendis was making.
Okay.
But the problem is we live in 2021, dude. You can't make a joke now because it either offends somebody or you're going. It's actually true.
Right.
Like you make a joke and people go, "Ha, you're kidding." Maybe you're not kidding.
And I've read this one. This is killer, man.
This is weird. These guys, I never knew the story about why these guys always wrote together, Dan Mishkin and Gary Kahn. And then Gary Kahn showed up at a friend's comic shop signing a few years ago, and I was just like, "Where's?" I was told don't really ask about that, if I remember right. So I did, but I was kind of weird. A writing team. That happens sometimes. The Atom is pissed off.
I've got this one too.
Here lies Superman. Because wait a minute now, they never really killed him.
What?
They never really killed Superman.
Well, you don't know. You got to read this one. That's the thing. It's like the covers were made to entice you. Not now. Now they just know that no one's actually browsing and everyone's just going to pick up whatever they want to pick up, and unless it's a key issue. So who gives a shit about the cover? Slap a face on there or a pose, and then it's like, okay, well, we're just gonna buy it anyway, so whatever. And you're like, that's it. Like this, at least there's some mystery to it. You're like, oh, is he really dead? I don't know. You know. Like, I mean, obviously, an adult will be like, "Look, he's not dead, dumbass." It's like he's the top selling character. But like, you know, we have to have something to entice people to look through it. So,
yep. Are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you.
You hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, because my computer's doing. My computer's being really wonky. It won't let me change the. Why are you doing? Oh, I hate this thing, man. Come on, why are you doing this? I can't change pictures.
What's the next?
It's got something blocking me.
52.
Yeah,
I've got 52.
I'll get there eventually. What is it with the? Oh, I'm gonna. There we go. Oh, I hate you, stupid computer, piece of crap. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 52. We have the 52 already. Yeah. There we go. This was actually I really kind of like this one. It was even though it was a silly new Doom Patrol, but it's been a long time now. What is it with DC in the number 52?
I don't know.
Just because I get it, they're 52 weeks, but they go overboard with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
New 52. Yeah, there's only 52 issues or whatever, or 52 titles.
The Screw 52, as I call them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see if this one was probably by who did this one. Gotta find. Man, this thing's going slow. Sorry about that, folks. My computer's messed up on me. So you.
I've got that. I've got that. This one. Yeah.
That was DC's attempt to revive the Doom Patrol in the many years before this, actually, in the when the Doom. There's kind of a strange history between the Doom Patrol and X-Men. My Greatest Adventure number, what was it, like 80 something, 50, whatever it was that it first appeared, the Doom Patrol first appeared in. Maybe it came out actually predates X-Men number 1 by like a week or so by release, I believe. And so, you know, the X-Men and the Doom Patrol actually were a little bit more successful during that era than X-Men. Remember, X-Men lasted a while. They were kind of, you know, they're both very similar groups and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when the X-Men got huge, the new X-Men took off, you know, in the 70s, you know, with the new group and stuff, Giant Size X-Men number 1 and X-Men 94, what have you. DC tried to bring up their new Doom Patrol, and it did not go well. Didn't last very long at all. But then a few years later, they put him in this for some reason.
Yeah, I think Giant Size X-Men's where you get into the real, like, you know, well, that's kind of where I'm started with X-Men.
Yeah. Are you an X-Men fan, are you?
Yeah, I do. I haven't missed anything of the new X-Men stuff. I'm a fan of everything. X-Men, I just kind of, I've read every single thing that's come out for all this new X-Men stuff. And that's sort of one of the things I do on my channel. So it's like a lot of people come just for that X-Men talk or whatever, because I've literally read every single thing that's come out. Some of it's good, some of it's bad. It, you know, it is what it is. But it's the only Marvel thing I collect, because Marvel's a dumpster fire. Like, I don't really like anything.
Yeah. Well, you know, it was never, I was, again, the only comics I've ever been like fanatical about, I guess for me, was probably like FF and Legion, but I would buy it if it was a good title. X-Men was one of those I would buy if it was good. We had a good team on it.
Right.
And so I bought them for a while. You know, I like the Dave Cockerman, John Byrne running with Claremont, stuff like that. Even Paul Smith later. But at some point in the mid 80s, I dumped them. You know.
Yeah, I mean, like it could get repetitive sometimes too, I guess. But you know, it's just like, oh, they're gonna, you know, team up fight. It's like, okay, whatever. But you know, it is. Cyclops is kind of my favorite. So
I think that's, dude. I think that's extraordinary that you read all those. I mean, that's amazing, dude. That's absolutely, because that's a lot of comics, brother. That is a lot. I mean, they, you know, because as you know, there are tons and tons of titles.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it, man. That is Herculean, I believe. Is how they pronounce that? Herculean?
Herculean. Yeah, I'd say Herculean, but
Yep. Good old Green Arrow.
yeah, I've got this one.
We're done. Done Newton cover. I'm telling you, man, you don't have a lot of gaps, dude. Man,
No, I'm not.
amazing.
I'm only missing like 30 something now or whatever it is. Like, so it's getting pretty. I'll probably finish it. I'll be able to finish it.
Gil Kane cover with Power Girl. Yeah, man, I just Atomic Knights again. That's a harkening back to the old days of the Brave and Bold comic in the '60s and stuff. No one really. I like that. They would drag up some fairly obscure characters and have them team up with Superman at this point in this title.
That's the thing about it, which is cool because it's like, oh my god, who's he going to team up with? And it's like someone you don't know, and it's like you'll learn about them or whatever. That's sort of where you learn about these guys. Because I mean, I guess there's Who's Who. I had a few issues of Who's Who, but if you didn't have Who's Who, there was no internet. You just didn't know anything. So it's like I'd be like, you know, who's this friggin', you know, okay, there's the elongated man. Like, who the hell's this elongated man guy? Like, you know?
Yes.
And it's like, it looks like Plastic Man, but no, he's a detective. But what did they say in, is that Brave and the Bold, or is that the anime, or is that Batman or Justice League, where he's like, I'm like Batman and Plastic Man all in one.
Yes, he did say that. I think it was on Justice League, but he was also
it was Justice
briefly
League.
on a Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
See, I thought this issue was really funny.
I've got this one.
The Legion I'm a big fan, as you know, Legion fan, but I always like the subs. And this one, I think it might have been Levitt, or Giffen at the time was really doing great on Legion, and or around that time, or getting close to I think this might have been right before he started doing Legion. It's somewhere up in there, but it's kind of funny because this is when I remember I would buy this comic on and off, off and on at this point.
Right.
But I remember someone recommended it to me. Did you see that DC Comics with the substitutes? And I'm like, huh? And I looked at it. Come on, it's hilarious. A buddy of mine told me about it. And yeah, it was. It was really funny. Just kind of a pretty, because the subs are always kind of funny. They're pretty, I actually really love the Legion of Substitute Heroes. They have a soft spot for them. Because they're a bunch of losers that couldn't make the group, and yet they were still, they pledged to help the Legion whenever they had to, and they even saved the Legion's life because they have redundant and weird powers. They can't get in. You have to. One of the things you have to do to get into the Legion is you have to have a unique power, and you can't be a schmuck.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can't if you try to join up when you have the similar or same power to someone else, they don't let you come in.
Oh man! So these guys are literally the substitute league.
Yep.
Legion. That's great.
Well, you have Chlorophyll Kid, Stone Boy, Polar Boy, Fire Lad, and Color Kid, and they're weirdos.
Well, that's the fun of this book, and also I also think it's a little bit more. I don't want to make this up more than it is, but it does have a lot more confidence when you're like, look, we're just going to put something out, see where it goes, and that's it. It's not like when you're reading a regular book and then you're like you're scared to do a new angle because you're like, well, what if people don't like this, and then we're screwed, and then they won't get the next issue. Where it's like you have to make everything continue into this big story arc. Now it's like, look, if people don't like this book, okay, they'll try the next one. Big deal. We had fun with this one. We'll try another one.
Exactly. That's what Sean said. The Superman and House of Mystery and Atari Force. Is that the be-all, end-all of comics? Yes. Oh, my goodness. And yes, that sub-issue was fun. And then it gets crazier. I think the next issue would be Ambush Bug, maybe? Let me see. I'll surprise myself and see if it's and who it is. Who's the next one? Who's the next one? No, Guardians of the Universe. Gil Kane cover. Ambush Bug's coming up, though.
This one. Yeah, I'm missing this one.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. I like that cover. Well, it's Gil Kane. I'm biased. The next one, and dude, the cover on the next one and the interior. As a matter of fact, this was one of the best, just in terms of art, issues of the series because again, you didn't have him do very many interiors, but George Perez, great cover.
Yep.
And I love OMAC. And I love
I've
OMAC.
got this one. Yeah. I love OMAC. I started reading that on Comixology. I got the not Marvel Legends. What are they called? DC Universe. Whatever the Marvel Legends DC version toys are. I got the OMAC toy.
Cool.
I try to buy every Jack Kirby toy. So I got Machine Man. I got OMAC.
Want that OMAC. You got OMAC? Damn, I got Commandy, but I haven't never got OMAC.
I don't have Commandy though. I really wanted Commandy. But yeah, OMAC I got, and I don't know. I'd love to see like something really cool with like do something really big with that character and bring him back in like a bigger way or do something. I don't know. DC has so many characters, and it's just like there's like 15 Batman books a month. It's like really, like do we really need? I think last month or whenever that that fake Batman day was, there was like 15 Batman related comics that came out, and it's like like you can't slot someone else in there, like really, I love Batman, but really,
yeah, exactly. I don't know, man. By the way, my Commandy's standing next to my Thundar figure because they're both.
Oh, I have Thundar. I have the Thundar figure too.
They're both Kirby, really. So, because Kirby, helped create and write Thundar. So.
I've got that on Blu-ray. I didn't even realize. I haven't watched that in forever.
Kirby and Steve, he helped develop that show for Ruby Spears, and I think he did more. In fact, I know he created most of it, even though Steve Gerber's credited a lot. Steve Gerber, I mean, look, the Commandy comic was way before Thundar, and Thundar is pretty much Commandy.
Right.
I love the Freedom Fighters.
Yeah, I've got that issue. I've got this one as well. Yeah.
Man, that's amazing, dude. You're gonna have them all bagged and boarded. You bag and board everything.
Yeah, I'm trying. I was actually trying to. I thought it'd be fun to do it while we're doing this. It's like as I get one, I bag and board it. But I got caught up because you start talking, and I'd be like, oh, I forgot I was going to do that.
That's cool. Because Gary and Az do that show where they bag and board. I love that show.
Yeah, so I will do it. Yeah. I like the smell first. We talked about this before. I like smelling.
Yes.
I like smell. It's going to be that. But was that Comic Book Men? I can't stand Kevin Smith, but there was the one episode of Comic Book Men where the four guys went to the museum. There was like Action Comics. They had an Action Comics one, and he's like, "Can I just smell it?" And I'm like, "Yes, I need to smell it." And I've got this issue too, the Commandy one. That's awesome.
Gil Kane cover again. Yep. Oh, that is true, by the way. I like. Was it? There was an episode of Thundar, as a fan of Sutter points out, that has a. He's seen all these old relics from the past and stuff. And there's a Revenge of the Jedi poster.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
Well, yeah. I mean, there was I had an issue of I don't know if it was Starlog or it was Fantastic Film talking a bit with a big article all about Revenge of the Jedi.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I loved Starlog magazine and all those mags back then.
I love those magazines too. I used to get Fangoria though. That was like my big one because it was horror.
Yeah. Oh, you're a horror guy. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Starlog produced that mag. So yeah.
Yeah, it's all the same, pretty much, right?
Yeah. Yep. And here I love this issue because not so much because of Madame Xanadu. Obviously, I love her, but I love Gray Morrow. Gray Morrow is one of my favorite artists. So this one, I
believe I have this one as well.
Yeah, that's a cool one there. Sean says, I was UCLA. I was UCLA the I thought he meant he went to UCLA.
Yeah. Ukla's like, so that must have autocorrected it.
Wow.
Like, that is crazy. I didn't know that.
Wow. One of these costumes with a picture of the guy on the costume. Yeah. Okay, I got you. The mask. They did a Halloween costume for kids of Ukla. Holy awesome. Crap. Dude, Sean, that's amazing. I love those.
Yeah, I remember those costumes were awful. Did you guys have those in the States?
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know they did that one though. But that I just bought the Blu-ray, even though because I hadn't seen it in a while. My wonderful friend Melinda of Retro Blasting fame, that's her favorite as well. We both share a deep love of Thundar, and we're gonna one of these days I'm gonna get on here and we're gonna talk about it. So yeah, and I love
Thundar. I think I've rebought that so much because I bought it on the archive. I guess it was like was it archive edition or something of Warner Archives, and then they did the Blu-ray, so I upgraded to the Blu-ray, and then they did the 3 figures, and I wasn't able to I've lost the girl's name. Crap. But I was able to get Ookla and I was able to get Thundar,
Ariel.
the toys. Yeah. Ariel, yes. So I couldn't
I only
get her
got
for some
Thundar.
reason. I was able to get Ookla.
Oh man, I wish I'd have got it. They were at Suncoast Video back then. This is an issue. I don't have it anymore, and I'm gonna go try to grab it. I love this one for a weird reason. It's just that the Demon is a Kirby character through and through.
Yep.
But the great Joe Kubert did the not only the cover, he did the interior art on it, and I love Joe Kubert. So Kubert doing the Kirby character is kind of a strange fascination for me. But yes, there should have been a Thundar Comet. Oh, I just made an insane statement. I was about to say there should have been a Thundar Comet. That's almost like saying they should do a new Thundar, and neither are true. Please never touch it ever again. Hollywood, never touch Thundar. Leave it alone.
Yeah, they're not going to. They're stuck in ruining their own.
They got to it's too small to ruin. Yeah,
it's too. It's too right. It's too small to ruin. We were trying to pinpoint that too. Santa Claus. Listen,
I didn't buy this one. Did you buy this one? I know you have this one.
I don't know if I have. I don't think I have that one. What number is that? 67? No, I don't have that one.
Superman and Santa Claus. How dare you not have that one?
Oh,
with Toyman in it, man.
Yeah, I have the Demon though. Yeah, Toyman. Yeah.
The less disturbing Toyman.
Oh right.
And we'll get into how disturbing that. But the sicko versions. Gil Kane cover Vixen. So Vixen actually got a little bit of credibility later on the Justice League cartoon and in other comics and stuff when she was a joke in those original Justice League books. I mean, that whole new Justice League when they all left and it was Aquaman and Martian Manhunter with all those, pretty much Justice League Detroit or whatever. Like they had Vibe and Vixen and whatchamacallit, Gypsy. Wow, I remember I just hated that when I did.
Her costume is so kooky, but she's in the CW shows, I believe.
Gypsy is?
No, Vixen. I think.
Ah, okay. Wow.
I think they've got her in. I'm gonna have to look.
And Steel, right? Steel. Thank you, Van. That's right. I've
got this Blackhawks one.
Yeah, I had to just was it Mark Evanier was writing the Blackhawk title at that time. Herb Novak on the pencil, Pearl Irv. All these old golden man. It's tragic, but so many of these golden age artists were so old at this point, barely getting gigs and stuff. It was just and what they contributed to comics history, and they never got thanked for it. It was just sad.
Yeah, everyone looks down on. They look down on comic art, right? And when
especially back then.
Yeah.
Yay, metal men. Always
metal men are awesome.
Like the metal men. They are. Dude, those
buddy
episodes go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna say my buddy when I was telling him I was doing this this stream, he and I think I was reading the Metal Men, the first appearance of Metal Men in this comic, and he's like, oh, and he immediately emailed me. He's got all of them, all the toys. So he has them all set up. So it's I'm like, oh, that was cool. I didn't even know they made all of them. And I guess some of them are hard to get. They do this.
The DC Universe?
The DC Universe, yeah.
Yeah.
DC Universe, that's the same as Marvel Legends, but DC, right? Basically Marvel Legends.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah, so he has all the Metal Men from that or whatever.
Pretty much.
Ooh,
and the Joker. Yeah, so. But Phantom Stranger's there too, so that's what a combo there. Now I love that episode of Batman Braving the Bold. Well, we had a couple, but especially that one with the Metal Men episode. Yep. Oh my God, man, that was just incredible.
Yeah, Braving the Bold is just the best cartoon ever. I know people you like it, but I'm I don't know. I might legit think it's the best cartoon. I'd have to really think about it. I know it seems preposterous to even say that you might like it better than animated, but. I don't know.
Dude, it's my number one. I totally. I love it more. Look, Batman the Animated Series is the definitive Dark Knight Detective Batman, and probably the best iteration of that character, including comics that I've ever seen in terms of story structure, the shorter stories that carry more of a punch. I love that the best. But as far as something that just makes me happy, since I started life out with the Batman TV show with Adam West, and it started my geekness, and I love it unabashedly. The Batman Brave and the Bold gives me that feeling, and so I probably love it the most of all the cartoons I've ever seen.
I think like I used to say DVD, I guess Blu-ray player. I used to say that there's your favorites and whatever, but then what does your Blu-ray player have to say? So it's like if the Blu-ray player could talk, what would be my favorite movies? Which would mean what am I always putting in the Blu-ray player to watch? And that would be I would sit here and be like, well, the animated series is the best Batman, but I'm watching Brave and the Bold way more. Like I throw that in, 5-1, right? So it's like, well, my Blu-ray player thinks that Brave and the Bold is my favorite because that's always in the player. So that's sort of how I, and Adam West, dude, I've seen every episode minimum 5 times easy. Like
nice.
That's one of my favorite TV shows ever. Like, and that's up there with like freaking like, Star Trek. Like, I mean, Star Trek, Doctor Who, like, this is like in the top 10 best TV shows for me. Yeah. These are all good. All these covers.
It's, I was 2 years old when that show came on again. That shows how old I am. It was, I'm told, my parents have constantly told me it was the first word I could say was Batman because of that song. Run around singing Batman, Batman, Batman. I was a kid wearing a towel for a cape. I remember I've seen pictures of myself at the time with a big Batman doll that was bigger than me. And that's just, awesome. Adam, and, he's, the times I got to meet him were some of the greatest times ever as a geek. And he was just amazing. And I just love that man. And again, I'll always, and again, yes, I went through the 3 phases of Batman with him, which I talk about all the time. That show as a kid was gospel. Teenager, when I got the book, when I got a little bit older and got the book closer to being a teenager, the Batman from the 30s to the 70s, and started reading some of the old and some of the more serious Dark Knight Detective Batmans. When I became a big fan of the Dark Knight version of him, I was like, that shit was making fun of Batman. And then I got older, I got closer to quote unquote adulthood. I realized, you know what? Since a human being should be able to laugh at themselves and have a good sense of humor, you could make fun of even of Batman. You could joke around about Batman. You could have a joke about anything, and it could be funny, and yet still you can love the serious, badass Dark Knight Detective, as long as jackasses don't take him too far and pervert him like they do now.
Yeah, I think they lost their way. It became almost like such a reaction to the Schumacher film, where it became like, let's make it so anti what that was that it's gone way too crazy. Where now I'm hearing that this new Batman is going to have, it's like, oh, it's scary and there's horror elements. It's like, what? Like, if you can't watch with your family, like really, the Adam West show is a family show. So the kids got something out of it. The parents got something out of it. And that's the whole goddamn point of having it on. This idea now that somehow, these 20-year-olds or whatever have like stolen Batman from everybody. Like, no, this is what Batman really is. It's like, well, no, not really. If we thought the way that they think now, Batman would not have become anything, because the Adam West show would not have been created. Without the Adam West show, there's nothing. Without the Adam West show, Batman is nothing.
That's right.
A guy with a blue cape that is not even second fiddle to Superman. He's like, yeah, okay. He's second fiddle to Superman, let's say. I mean, that show is Batman. That's what made Batman so popular. Anyway.
It made him extraordinarily popular. And again, no, look, hey, and at the risk of, and only as an example with that, I won't go on my usual Man of Steel rant, but I'm saying that we've really lost it when in 2013, the Hack Snyder filth called Man of Steel, that I call it, you make what is ostensibly a Superman film that you can't bring your little kids to. That shows an ignorance and an evil, the banality of evil. And that's an evil to me. That's an evil when you take a character that's supposed to be for everyone, especially, let's face it, young people, especially kids. Yep. These characters were created for kids. They were, sorry, people. And you make it where you can't even take a young child to a movie that allegedly has Superman in it. You are evil. And you are evil, the Warner and Christopher Nolan and Hack Snyder and all you jackasses who let them do that to Superman. And you're garbage, and I hate you for it, to be honest with you. Sorry. I don't hate anybody, but I hate that they did it. Yes.
I can rant about that forever, but yeah.
No.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said.
Well, the great Mark D with Mark C, my friend that we named the show after. At that time when that filth came out, his son was very young. We talked about running to the shop, talking. He said I had to go see it. He said I wanted to make sure I could see if I could bring my kid to it. And he said I couldn't. I absolutely, I'm not bringing my kid to see that trash. Not because it's just because it's bad, because it's not kid friendly.
It's also boring too, which is like a sin in itself. It's like you made a boring Superman movie. What the hell's going on here? It's like nothing happens. He's mopey. It's like, this doesn't seem very cool to me. I'm like, even me as an older guy, I'm like, look, I want to see some cool shit going down. You know, like it's just Superman walking around being all dopey. Like, ooh. It's like, man, if I was Superman, I'd be a little happier than this. Like, I don't know. I'm like, this sucks. It's just funny too. It's like, it's not great anyways.
He was a joyless turd. You take all the joy and all the values out of Superman. But you know, it does sort of dovetails because we're talking about a Superman title here. And speaking of the fun, this issue was hilarious.
Ambush Bug, yes.
Ambush Bug. Oh my God, man! It was really. I mean, that was crazy stuff. You know, that was a time when they. And again, you could still. We were talking about having a sense of humor, and the Ambush Bug stuff was just crazy. So
pretty much from here on in, I don't have any of the rest of these. I don't think the last one I had. That was the two Clark Kents, or the two Clark, or whatever. Superman and Clark teaming up.
Yeah, sure. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so these I don't have any of these now. This is this is like we're close to the end now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, this was getting closer to the end. I guess they have the annuals here.
Oh, there you go.
Kirby cover with Challengers of the Unknown right there.
Yeah. Did he do the interior for that one?
No, he definitely did not. Unfortunately. He did not do the interior on that one there, but let's see who. In fact, now I want to know who did. That's how.
Yeah, I don't have that one
because I bought it just because he did the cover, but I think I'm not even going to guess because I know I'll get it wrong. I can't remember. In fact, I knew he wouldn't because he was kind of gone at that time,
right?
And so, but I will double check it because I have to know. I got to know. And Lee, I did do the other quote. Like, oh, you got to know shit. No, sorry.
I know that one too. Yeah.
Rock the boat. Sorry, no singing. Well, only for me. Jay Bank can sing if he wants to.
No, I'm not singing.
He can do whatever he wants.
I think every time I attempt singing, I lose 10 subscribers. So I have to be careful.
Oh, see, I gained subscribers so they could just press the and then they unsubscribe. So
right.
Subscribe just so they can. They just said I subscribed to you so I could unsubscribe. We get stop your Tom singing. Yeah.
That's pretty.
Actually, Kirby did do the interior on this one. Boy, I knew I forgot.
Oh wow.
Well, Kirby and Thoth. This was around the time. Let me see. Yes, this is when Superpowers was coming out. This is the last work other than Superpowers he ever did, and Alex Toth did stuff in there with him. So really, Greg Theakston did most of the art. Greg Theakston, I've had him on my show before. The late great Greg Theakston, he used to work with Jack Kirby. Awesome. So I've been looking at the stream page because I was trying to find that. So yeah. Let's see. Clobberin, see above. Kirby and Toth. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But now I know why I bought it. I could have sworn this was. Never mind. Well, there you go. So, thank you, Matthew Pounder. I would have got if it would have saved me the trouble looking that up when I saw you say that, but I wasn't looking at the page. See, I don't have extra monitors. Shocker, right?
Yeah,
I only have the one. And the thing is, I've had people ask me, well, don't you have, why didn't you see that? Don't you have other monitors? No, I just have the one. Is that wrong? Oh man, I've kept you here for a long time, dude. We'll go through the rest of these really quickly, but if you want, because I know you're a busy man.
No worries.
Alan Moore issue right here.
Swamp Thing, Alan Moore. I love Swamp Thing, Alan Moore. I have a whole shrine to it behind me, so it's like it is what it is.
Like Sean says, why can't Superman be fun? I don't know why Superman filmmakers feel they need to make a documentary on real superheroes. Superman doesn't exist in real life. Someone should tell Hack Snyder that. So I think, and now that I think more about this, that Kirby issue, Alex Toth and Jack Kirby were both doing some stuff for DC at that point, especially Superpowers. But Greg Theakston, I think, did most of the work on that one. To be quite honest, I love Kirby and Toth, but he was having a lot of trouble with his hands. the time and with his drawing hand at the time. Well, he'd only drawn like 25,000 comics, and I'm not comic pages, and I'm not exaggerating. It was over 20,000 comic pages in his life.
He was doing tons, even in a day. It's like, what, I don't know what an artist does normally, like, but he would do like 3 times what a normal artist would do. So if it's like a page a day, he's doing 3 a day or whatever, right? Like, he was crazy. Like, just the amount of work.
He was the fastest.
Yeah.
But by that time he couldn't. I mean, he couldn't do that much.
Right.
And it was actually, it's a long story, but it was a really good thing that I had my problems with Jeanette Kahn because of Crisis and other things she did. But she took care of Kirby. They all took care of, they really threw him a bone with the Superpowers line and helped the Kirbys out back then. So I love this cover. And there's Superboy Prime, but that's got stupid money on it.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. Crisis, yeah, it's a Crisis crossover. I don't know. That one didn't come up on my radar as something that was more expensive than the rest.
Because remember, they brought him back.
Yeah. Superboy Prime.
Yeah. I like this Giffen cover.
Creeper.
Love the Creeper.
Yeah, he's cool.
The Mega Men, they were a flash in the pan.
Yeah.
I remember we ordered like a shit pot full of Mega Man #1 at the comic shop. That was a couple years before this one came out. But again, a lot of these issues you see of DC Comics Presents with some of these characters that are like lesser names or characters that are whose comics had already been long since canceled. But they just kind of dredged them up and did, added to their story and whatnot. Right. I read a Mega Men for a while and never really thought it was an attempt to try to cash in on trying to be more like a DC version of X-Men and try to cash in on the success of New Teen Titans and to even an extent Legion at that point a few years before this. Firestorm and Captain Atom.
Awesome.
And it's funny, it's got Captain Atom in his old similar to his old Charlton costume. Captain Comet. Yay, Captain Comet. I like Captain. Well, look at the logos got weird. Superman and the Punisher. I mean, Vigilante.
Vigilante. Yeah.
With the Punishlanty. Yeah.
Vigilante.
Yeah. And that's another book that was the direct sales that they tried to really push this the Vigilante. And we, it came out and I bought it. It was the comic shop. It was comic shops only, and it was like, I never really got into the Adrian Chase one. Get into the weird covers here.
The Elastic Four.
The Elastic Four. 4. Looks like 3 of them there.
There it is. Yeah.
The hell? This is now we're in around the Crisis era, post-Crisis era rather. So yeah, we're getting toward the end, bud. Boom. Murphy Anderson cover. Hawkman, and then the Blue Devil, another one of those faded series. A lot of people liked him now. Look at
he was in the Swamp
Man on the cover.
They had him.
He was on that dumb Swamp Thing show.
Yeah, he was on the Swamp Thing show. It was what's his name?
Yeah, he was.
Ian Ziering played him. Yes, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, Superboy Prime. Yeah.
So, again, it was another one of those titles. It lasted a little while. It was an attempt to do something different. That Blue Devil, and now 97. I think wasn't 97 the last one.
97 is
the Phantom Zone one. Criminals.
That
wasn't even a team up.
Yeah, like how's he teaming up with them? Like,
yeah. And I like this annual here. I don't think I have
any. I don't have any of the annuals. I don't know if they're just harder. Maybe they're just harder to come by for some reason. I haven't seen those around.
Superman and the Golden Age Superman. This was a good one.
Oh, that's cool.
Then Gil Kane cover with Superwoman. Yeah. I love this one by Gil Kane.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a cool one. So go back a little smaller. Zoom it a little bit. Let's see here. And that's it. No, there were 4 of them. That's right.
There's 4 annuals, so it's one more, I think.
There you are. And Superwoman again. Weird cover.
And that cool X. Yeah, this is neat. It's like all these bald. Who are these bald people? It looks like what's her name from the motion picture?
She does. It looks like Persis Kambata
Yes. Oh my
with
gosh.
a rubber thing over her head.
Yeah. Well, I love motion picture. You know that.
I do too. I'm one of the few motion picture defenders of Star Trek: The Motion Picture. How many streams do the silliness of just showing all you the whole covers for the entire run of a comic? Who does that?
Wow.
I don't know.
That was, yeah.
We do. Oh man. I just thought that'd be a fun thing to do. Just looking at all these covers, just looking at all of them, man. That's the thing with Major J, man. Looking at old comic book covers makes me happy.
Yeah, me too. There's just you could just visually see, like you just look at it, you're like, oh, this is a good one. And that and my buddy would always say the Marvel Comics group, the banner that went across, he goes, if you saw that banner, just buy it. Like it's like there's like a 90% chance it'll be somewhat enjoyable, right? Like, you might find a few duds here and there, but it'll be somewhat fun. I think a lot of the fun has been stripped out. I wish they did bring back 2-in-1. Chip Zdarsky brought that back.
I hated it. I friggin' hated it, man.
Yeah, I actually met him when he was writing it, and he showed me pages before it came out. He was showing me pages of it. He was at my library here, which is like a walk across the street. I'm like, what the hell? And he's like, oh, I'm doing 2-in-1. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be, you're bringing that back. Yeah. He's showing me the page. I'm like, well, this looks really good. And then I'm like, I don't know.
It wasn't a team up book. Really, yeah. It was just Ben and Johnny running around with a weirdo version of Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
And it had shitty art, and I didn't like the story. I mean, everyone said, oh, this is so good. Everyone was going nuts over it. I'm like, well, you know what? Fine, go nuts over it, but it's just not my bag. I just can't get into this.
No.
I really don't like it.
Yeah, and they also did Marvel Comics Presents. They brought that back for a little bit, just not too long ago. But it was like Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan, and Spider-Man, and that was for like a few years. Like, maybe that was called Team Up. Maybe that was called, I don't know. Maybe that was called Marvel Team Up. I'm sorry. That was Marvel Team Up. Marvel Comics Presents was the other one. But they did Marvel Team Up, and it was them. I'm like, you're not capturing what I want. It's like I want it to be one issue, one team up. Pick your one character that it's going to be, and then that person appears every time. Like, is it so hard?
Yeah, I bought some of the Kirkman issues of the Marvel Team Up thing that they did when he actually teamed up with Invincible, which was weird because he wasn't really a Marvel character. So I thought that was strange. But I couldn't really get into it, if you know what I'm saying. I was like, well, sure, whatever, guys. But I don't know. I wish they would get into it.
Yeah, I had this thought that, with Brandon Routh being in, I don't know if you watch any of the CW stuff, but Brandon Routh had like more of the proper looking costume in the Crisis crossover.
Yeah,
he looked like it was the bright blue. It was the proper red. And at the end, he had the proper, like he looked like the proper Superman. I thought, wow. And because he's like, he has no realm, like his universe is destroyed. I'm like, why don't they just make a TV show with him teaming up with a different weird superhero? Don't use Batman, don't use Wonder Woman, don't use Aquaman, use like counterparts or different people that are similar, and do a DC Presents. You could call it Superman Presents, and have him team up with someone every episode. You could do it in live action. Brandon Routh's not doing anything. Have it something where the whole family can sit down and enjoy. You can speculate who's he going to team up with next. They can do those little shadow cutouts. Like next week he'll team up with, it's a shadow and you can't tell. Like, I mean, this show writes itself. They just don't want to do anything fun. They don't want to do anything fun. And I just don't get where that's coming from in comics or in shows. They're just trying to strip the fun out of everything. I just don't understand why.
We live in those times, though. So many people are just are cynical and jaded, and they don't think these characters should be fun. And I can't even relate to it. I can't relate to what these people are thinking about stuff like that, And you know what I wanted to see, because we're talking about DC Comics Presents, in the early days of the Batman Brave and the Bold cartoon, the first couple of years you couldn't even mention Superman. Buddy of mine actually interviewed James Tucker and Michael Jelinek about that on his show way back when I was on, right? And I was on BTR, and I was listening to him interview, and they were saying, well, there's certain things we can't do, we can't talk about, because that was somewhere in the heart of all that litigation between, DC and the Siegel family and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
And then, they had an issue with an episode where they kind of cheated and just showed him from the back or something. And I was thinking, we're never going to get Superman. Then they did that wonderful episode called, they finally got him in those last couple of episodes that battled the superheroes. And they had that one, the one with all three of them. But I just loved it. The Trinity episode kind of. Well, then, after it was over, it was only 65 episodes, but it was 65 episodes of sheer joy. And I was hoping we could get something where, all right, how about this, guys? They'll never do it. But this is what I wanted to see. The same exact cartoon, but instead of Brave and the Bold, it's called DC Comics Presents, and it's the same theme. That Superman from that episode doing what Batman does, teaming, just like his own comic of Brave and the Bold. Just like his own comic DC Presents. He's teaming up with and doing it in the same tone as this cartoon. How fantastic would that have been?
Oh. They should have done like DC Action Hour, Brave and the Bold, and DC Presents, and have it like, the first half is Batman, the next one is Superman. It's a different thing. And then you could do ones where it was like 1 hour and it was the two of them together. So they team up with each other and be a 1 hour story. Like, what is happening here? Like, we're coming up with like a million great ideas. It's like, this needs to happen.
It needs to happen.
And I want it to happen so kids, like, I went to, it's not in this room, it's in my other room. I would have showed it to you. My niece and nephew, they're twins. They're turning 3 in like a few days, 6 days. So I bought them the Fisher-Price Little People. It's Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Robin, and the whole Batcave, and you put it on a little thing. And like, this took me, I was almost going to swear, this took me like effing half an hour of walking through to find something for the kids. I'm like, okay, and maybe am I taking this for granted that like it's like I should be able to walk into a effing Walmart and be like, where's the superhero toys for the little kids? And like, you can't find them.
No.
And finally, I found this Little People thing. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this took half an hour. My wife is like, where the fuck are you? Are you coming home? I'm like, I'm still shopping. I can't find anything. And then I find this Batcave. I'm like, well, I'm just buying it because it's literally the only thing. Literally the only thing they had was the Batcave, the Batmobile, and then a pack where you got Flash, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Bat. You got like a pack of guys. I'm like, that's it. And I'm thinking, when did this become adults only material? Like somewhere we've lost something.
Lost the plot.
Yeah. Like if my niece and nephew aren't going to be excited for Superman, then there's not going to be a future for Superman. And that was the thing. It's like Superman grew up with us. Like when we were little kids, we'd have stuffed toys and we'd have Sean and I show our picture on my stream all the time where it's like, we have our Superman cake. It's like, growing up and then you'd read the comics, then you'd watch the movies, like the Christopher Reeve movies were the more adult version where you'd watch, be like, oh, okay, this is the more, this is the boring Superman. When you're a little kid, you'd watch Super Friends. And then you'd watch, when you grew up, you watch the Superman TV or the movies and the show. Like, what happened? There should be a Superman for every age group. Like, I don't get it. Now it's just like you're either into this dark stuff where Superman is just weird, or unrelatable, pretty much. They keep saying they want to make him relatable, but they're making him unrelatable. Because
unrelatable.
I did relate to him before. Now I can't relate to him. But yeah, kids. Yeah,
no, you're absolutely right. But it's absolutely disheartening. It's sad. Athena follower, good to see you there. And yes, Athena says, by the way, yeah, I mean, still think that DC is self-destructed in recent years. They are nowhere the same as they once were, not even close.
No.
Well, they've actually always been a bunch of evil creatures, but they just kind of knew what they're doing. I don't know how we reached a point where Superman is not seen as a bankable enough character to make something like Brave and the Bold starred Superman. Well, here's the interesting thing about that for me, Sean, is, in 2008, the Nolan movies are okay. I don't love them. I don't really hate them. I kind of call them Batman for dummies, for me. But at that point, there was still some semblance of sanity at Warner because that movie coming out, they realized, look, this is more for adults. We need something. Yes, of course, they wanted to sell toys to kiddies. Fine. We need a show. We need something coming out around the same time to, for kids. Imagine that, caring about what, yes, even though I'm sure they wanted to sell toys to them, but at least they were thinking of kids. And so they went to, Tucker and Jelinek. Those guys had worked with Bruce Timm and all this. And they said, they didn't give they just let those guys do whatever they want as long as they're going to sell toys. And those guys, especially Tucker, they know their DC history, and that cartoon is full of DC history. It's wonderful. So they got to make a show, as I've always said, a show for 8-year-olds and 50-year-old 8-year-olds.
I bought all the toys too. I've got tons of them.
Oh God, yes!
I bought all the toys.
Now, fast forward to the horrible year in 2013. If you're going to make filth like Man of Steel and do this is the same exact thing as the Dark Knight and the Nolan movies. And Nolan's producing it. If you're going to make something that's not kid friendly, for God's sake, how about make some kind of cartoon or something for the kids like they did in that case?
Yeah.
But sanity was all gone at that point. They were just a bunch of morons that say, "This guy Nolan made us $1 billion a couple of times. Let's let him do Superman." And he says, "I don't really want to do Superman." "Ooh, but we want you to." "Okay, I'll hire some other schmuck to do it because I don't want to do it." And he hires Snyder, who doesn't have any respect for Superman, and said so up front.
And literally said so, yeah.
Said it. And we'll hire this jackass. Even, look, he's such an ass. Even Christopher Nolan disagreed with the murder of Zod. And they talked him into it. So even his Batman didn't kill.
Right.
So,
You know,
they make a downer Superman movie. Allegedly was there's so by a jackass who's so embarrassed to be making Superman he doesn't even use the name of it more than twice in the movie. Right. But no, they just don't care, and we live in crazier times now that they don't even think about kids when they think of comics, and that is an absolute sad. Even cartoons, really, but especially comic books.
Yeah, who gets a job when they hate the company? Hi, I hate your company.
I hate you.
You're hired.
And I hate your readers. Oh, you're hired. You're perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We need someone to make Superman. I hate Superman, and your readers are trash. Perfect. Do it.
Yeah. Are you sure you hate him now? Prove it. Okay, I will. Yep, absolutely. Sean Clarkin is a Midwestern kid who had a passion to uncover the truth from childhood and become a reporter as a result. Relatable. Right. Nowadays, relatable means you have to look like me. You have to be exactly like me. Identify down the line, your skin color, your everything about you has to be like me, or I can't relate to you. You can't relate to another being, even a fantasy being. That's not how it works, idiots. But nuance is dead in this world. So, yeah. Anything else to add about DC Comics Presents, my friend?
I think we're good. We went through everything. I'm gonna keep plugging away and grabbing the issues that I can, and just go from there, I guess.
I tell you what, man, I really appreciate you hanging out with me. Anyone who hung out with us, just looking at those covers and talking, man, we just thank you all so much. Awesome. Before I say my goodbyes, a couple of quick show notes. Wednesday night, I'll be here doing some Open Geek, hanging out with you. Just, I don't know, I'll think of something, Open Geek Talk, just hanging out with you guys. And I'm not sure exactly what I will do, but Thursday, the Global Geek Gang shall gather. Hopefully, I'm hoping, unless something weird happens again. And then Thursday night, the new show that we started last week, Clobby's Clubhouse with Raquel and Mark. What a fantastic time we had. So many of you wonderful people turned out. It was amazing. We appreciate you. We will have some fun doing that again Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central. And then Saturday night, you guys are just being fantastic. Those of you showing up to hang out with us for Saturday night Star Trek. 4 more episodes of season 3 of Star Trek: The Next Generation to come, and we just appreciate you. Thank you so much. And Decepticon Sean, thank you for being here, man. It's great to see you. The great Lord Thoth, Avon lives, long live the Legion. Alaric Heddosen, thank you for being here. Matthew Pounder, a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much for your input. Phantom Outsider, my brother, as always. Thanks. Thank you for being here. Oh, well, hey, Mark D with the C popped in. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. I still feel terrible about missing that show last night. He does a stream on Sunday nights. And I was on, but I got invited to go with our buddy Doomcock, and I was hanging, on there, and with the great. And by the way, all hail the great Doomcock. But Chris Persia, thank you, brother, for being here. Let's see who else was here. But Kal-El, buddy, how'd you slip in there, man? Good to see you. Kal-El's a great pal as well. Let's Steve Mitchum, brother. Good to see you again, bud. Oliver Belmonte, thank you. D-Bud popped in a little bit earlier. I don't know whom else or even who else popped in. But whoever did, we want to thank you all for joining us tonight. And I want to thank my fantastic guest, the great J-Man. Please, of course, go to his channel and subscribe. There is a link in my description below. And let me find that link, Jay, and I want to put it in there so people can reach it, because I had it and I lost it. There we go. But I have it. I have it right here because I want you to please go to his channel, his amazing channel, and check it out. Because if you love doing what we did tonight, which is just, kicking back and just geeking out about comics, you got to find J-Man's channel, and I got to find his link. I had it. There it is.
It's in the link of your videos anyway.
It's in the bottom always, but there you go. There we go. I'll put it in there for you. Well, there. The great Chris Persia always beats me to it. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. So there you go, everyone. Cannot wait to see you all again Wednesday night, and I can't wait to talk to you again, J-Man. Thanks, brother.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, buddy. And everyone, have a great night. We're going to play us out with the great Stone Loki outro. I get in trouble with Raquel for saying outro, but let's say it anyway.